The Minnesota Vikings have been heavy buyers during free agency, starting off with re-signing Aaron Jones. They added Will Fries and Ryan Kelly to the interior offensive line, signed Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, and with J.J. McCarthy potentially being the starting quarterback for next year's season, I think we are setting him up perfectly for a great situation to walk into, and I'm very curious as to how this team's future looks. So today we're going to be rebuilding the Minnesota Vikings for 10 years in Madden 25. This is my favorite team, so I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this. If you enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe right now, you could have a chance to win a free NFL jersey. We'll get more into that later, but for now, please enjoy the video. So as you can see here, we have Ryan Kelly and Will Fries added to the roster, along with Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen. I think probably our two biggest problems with this team last year were our interior offensive and defensive line, and that's exactly what we went for here in free agency, and we still have the draft ahead of us. I think we easily have had one of the best free agencies in the league, other than maybe like Chicago and Denver, with Chicago having a good free agency and being in the same division sucks, but I like that we brought back Aaron Jones. I really liked him on the roster this year, and we got him on a 2-year deal. J.J. McCarthy has plenty of weapons to work with on offense already with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and he had 2 great tackles as well, and getting him 2 guys on the interior offensive line on top of that is absolutely perfect and will make his life so much easier. And then we had one of the best defenses in the league last year. Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard both went for double-digit sacks. We still have Dallas Turner. Harrison Phillips was pretty decent on the interior, but outside of him, we didn't really have anybody, so adding 2 guys like Hargrave and Jonathan Allen was perfect. We did unfortunately lose Cam Bynum in free agency. We have yet to re-sign Stephon Gilmore. We did re-sign Byron Murphy, though, which I'm grateful for. We extended Harrison Smith as well. I know this is not Harrison Smith. He retired in the simulation, so I had to remake him. But we have a very good defense, and I think the Vikings added exactly what we needed to here in free agency. And in a very rare occasion, I am very excited to be a Vikings fan come this season. Now, I really don't know what the Vikings plan on doing in the draft this year. I've seen a couple mocks have us taking running back, and I personally don't even know what I want us as a team to take this year. I think we had an excellent draft last season. Let's hop into re-signings first. Could I go back and give every single player their new contract in a different franchise? Because God forbid I put their contracts in the game and then the game just like, no, they're going to be in free agency anyway. Okay, I think I finally got the rosters fixed. J.J. McCarthy developed up to like an 84 overall during the regular season because I had to have him be the starter so I could send past the season. So I'm going to lower his overall a little bit, just to make sure that this isn't completely broken. And now he's down to an 81. I think that's more fair. You guys have no idea how long it took to do what I just did, by the way. I had to do it twice because this game's terrible, but we got all the players back that we wanted. I had to recreate Harrison Smith again, but we re-signed Gilmore. We got Hargrave. We got Jonathan Allen. We got Byron Murphy back. We re-signed Aaron Jones. We have Ryan Kelly. We have Will Fries. And now I think we're finally ready to actually get the video started. Dear God. I don't really think I'm going to sign any free agents, honestly, because most of the free agents that are here are already signed in real life, so I don't want to really touch that and mess with it too much. These rosters are updated for the most part, but they're not perfect, but I try to get them as good as I could. As I was saying earlier, though, I don't really know exactly what the Vikings are going to go for in this draft, or necessarily what I really want them to go for. However, we don't have many draft picks this year, and I think we did get a third-round comp pick, but regardless, we just don't have many draft picks, so I personally wouldn't hate if we traded out of the first round this season, especially with all of the things we already added through free agency and already had a very good team last season. So let's go ahead and hop into the draft. I think I am going to be trading back here. It was easier to just import a roster where the Vikings had all their players, but then I have to sim to the end of the season. So the only correct draft pick is going to be ours, and I guess the Eagles too. But I really don't think we're going to be taking anybody here. I think we're probably going to trade out of this. I personally don't think there's a world where Gene T falls to 24, so I'm not going to be taking him. I'll try to keep it somewhat realistic here for the beginning. I wouldn't hate getting somebody like Isaiah Bond, but Jalen Naylor was great as the receiver 3 this season. I really don't see them taking a receiver in the first round. So we're going to review the offers for this first round pick we have. I think I'm going to accept this trade from the Eagles. We did get some better offers. Like we got the Falcons 1 and 2 for next year, and we got the Seahawks 1, 2, and 3 for next year. But a team like the Seahawks is not going to trade their first, second, and third rounder to get pick number 24 at this point. I do think the Rams maybe would do something like that if there was somebody they really like, but I just don't think any team's going to give up this much capital to trade up to 24. So I'm going to try to keep it more realistic, and we're going to trade down with the Eagles, go down to 32, and we're going to get their second round pick and fourth round pick for next season. I mean, dude, Gene T's still on the board. Do I just take him? You know what? I tried to keep it as realistic as much as I can, but Ashton Gene T's on the board at 32. I'm just going to go ahead and take him. Why not? We'll lose Aaron Jones eventually, and now we'll have a replacement for him. I mean, I tried my best to keep it realistic, but nobody took him, so. And then we'll make our pick here in the third round, and then we'll let the CPU have the rest. I do think we could probably use one more guard just to be rotated in throughout the season, so I'm going to go with Joshua Gray here. He's not going to be a starter. He'll just kind of be a depth piece. He's ranked 237 in true value, so that wasn't the best pick. But we're going to hand the rest over to the CPU here, and then we'll get into the first year of this rebuild. I do kind of dislike the fact that we took G&T because it does make this a little unrealistic, but I mean, he fell to us and we just don't have that many needs on this team. So, and he's not going to be a starter here for the first couple years. Once Aaron Jones starts regressing, we'll put G&T in, but for now, Aaron Jones is going to be the starter. And then you know about the defense. The defense is great. We probably could have maybe added one more corner, but we did get Isaiah Rodgers this offseason, so we may as well give him a chance to be a starter. And don't forget, we're going to be doing this rebuild for 10 years, so this is going to be a long video. Let's see how many Super Bowls we can win. Leave in the comments right now if you think the Minnesota Vikings will win a single Super Bowl in the next 10 years. But let's go ahead and set our season goal to be to make the playoffs. And then with everybody on our D line and all of our pass rushers being on the older side, I'm going to have our tier 3 scout be for a DN and outside linebacker. Van Ginkel and Grenard are great, but they are aging. Same with Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, and Harrison Phillips. So we're definitely going to try to scout some defensive linemen. We will need a safety once we lose Harrison Smith as well. I just think that's a little bit of an easier position to work with. So that's going to be our focus scout. We're going to hop into year 1. We'll have a quick stop at the midseason, make any re-signings we need to. We're going to try to get through these first few years as quick as possible, and then once the video becomes actual like rebuildy, we'll make sure that we slow it down a little bit. But I'll see you guys at the midseason of year 1. So we're currently 3-4 at the midseason. I did forget to change our playbooks, which I just now realized, but let's hop into these re-signings. I want to see if I can try to give Jonathan Allen his actual contract, because it is making me angry that he's not even interested in the team, so we're going to have to overpay for him. So I'm going to try to see if I can make this work. Okay, so Jonathan Allen's contract should now be dealt with. From now on, I'm just going to do what Madden says. We're going to go with the contracts that they give us every year. We need to re-sign Andrew Van Ginkel. He is 30 years old, but he's been great, and it says we don't have much money after I gave Jonathan Allen his contract. And with us having Dallas Turner and having all these other players to re-sign that also aren't interested, I think it's not the smartest move to re-sign Andrew Van Ginkel here. I would definitely like to have Ivan Pace back. He's not interested in the team, so I'm going to give him a 4-year, $36 million deal, which he does accept. And then with our cap situation, I think we're going to hold on to the rest of these signings till the end of the season. I'm going to change our playbooks, but I'll see you guys at the end of the year. Hopefully we make our way into the playoffs. All right, we ended up finishing year number 1, 10-7. We do find ourselves in the playoffs. We came second in the division. We're going to have a wild card matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's quickly check how everybody did this season. JJ McCarthy was 5th in the NFL in passing yards with 4,500 yards, 43 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. I will definitely take this in his first year as a starter. Aaron Jones with a 1,000-yard season, 4.3 per carry with 6 touchdowns. Ashton Jeanty as the backup got 44 carries for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson with a crazy season, 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns. Jordan Addison with close to 1,000 yards with 6 touchdowns. And Jalen Naylor with 890 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's a great season out of him. This will be the only time I show offensive line numbers in this video because these numbers are never realistic. They always suck. Don't pay attention to them. But this year, they actually weren't terrible. Christian Darrisaw allows 7 sacks, 5 out of Brian O'Neill, 4 out of Will Fries, 4 out of Ed Ingram, and 3 out of Ryan Kelly. Blake Cashman led the team in tackles with 100. He also had 3 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, and 4 interceptions. That's a great season from him. 7 sacks out of Jonathan Grenard, 6.5 out of Van Ginkel, 6 out of Javon Hargrave, 4 out of Jonathan Allen, 3.5 out of Blake Cashman. Jonathan Allen with only 4 sacks and 8 TFLs. I definitely would have liked to see more out of him. 4 picks out of Blake Cashman, 2 out of Ivan Pace, 2 out of Byron Murphy, and then 1 out of a few other players. MVP this season goes to Brock Purdy. It does not go to Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. That doesn't happen very often, but we came in 8th with JJ McCarthy. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We came in 6th with Justin Jefferson. Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Shaq Thompson. That's a very interesting one. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Xavier Restrepo for the Eagles. I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy's name. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Jack Sawyer, also for the Eagles. Great. So the best team in Madden franchise got both of the Rookie of the Years. Cool. But we have our first playoff game of the video here in year number 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were 9-8. We have the same overall team, and we're going to be playing them at home. I think this is a pretty even matchup, and with them being at home, I wouldn't hate us losing this game, but let's send them to the divisional, see if we beat the Buccaneers here. We barely squeaked past the Buccaneers 23-20. Going against the Detroit Lions, my least favorite team in the NFL. They're sitting at an 89 overall. They went 13-4. They had the 3rd scoring offense and the number 1 defense in points allowed. This is not looking like a game we're going to win. Our defense was pretty bad this year, and we're playing a top 5 offense. But let's go ahead and send them to the NFC Championship. I guess anything can happen. And I was correct when I said that. We beat the Lions 31-28. And now we're going against the Philadelphia Eagles, probably the most broken team in franchise this year. They went 14-3. They're a 92 overall team. We're going to be playing them at home. They have the second scoring offense, the second defense in points allowed. I mean, like I said, for the Lions game, anything can happen. Let's send them to the Super Bowl, but I am pretty confident we're going to lose to the Eagles here. And we do. But honestly, a great season. Year number 1. We make it to the NFC Championship. I will definitely take that. JJ McCarthy is going to go up to Superstar this year. He's sitting at about an 88 overall. Ashton Jeanteen goes up to Superstar, so whenever he comes in as our replacement for Aaron Jones, he'll be great. Jonathan Grenard's going to go up to Superstar, and I want to say those are the only dev-ups we got throughout the team. We're probably going to lose Van Ginkel this year, so Dallas Turner is going to become a starter. I think we're pretty prepared to lose the players that we're probably going to end up losing, so I think we're set up pretty nicely here. So this year's Super Bowl champion is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles by a 1-point margin, so they're going to go back-to-back on the Super Bowl. Fortunately, they actually won it in the simulation last year too, so that helps out. I guess let's go ahead and check if anybody retired for us. Stephon Gilmore's going to retire. We do get Harrison Smith for 1 more year, which we did just sign him to an extension, so I think that makes a little bit of sense, and it also makes sense that Stephon Gilmore is going to call it quits here. We don't have much money to work with a decent amount of free agents to sign, so let's see who we need to bring back here. We have the 5th year for Jordan Addison. $36 million is a lot for a 5th year, but it's just another year we can push off giving him a big contract, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. We're going to have to let Van Ginkel go, but we have his replacement in Dallas Turner. I would like to bring back Josh Metellus. I don't really know if we can afford it. I'm going to give him a 4-year, $50 million offer. Do I really want to give this to a 28-year-old safety? Not really, but I would like to have him back, so I'm going to shoot it to him. And he does take it, and that's going to be basically all of our money. So we're going to lose Josh Oliver, we're going to lose Jalen Naylor, but we're not losing any big pieces to this team, which is pretty great. So we're going to have $16 million to work with here in free agency. We'll check out who is available. If we did manage to get Joe Thuney, our offensive line would basically be complete. However, we cannot afford him. I think our best bet is going to be going for younger players that could potentially replace or be a band-aid option for whenever we lose certain players on the team, mainly because all of these top free agents we're really not going to be able to afford this year, let alone really need. I mean, we could afford to make Van Ginkel an offer, but he didn't play that good last season anyway. So I doubt we're going to get either of these players, but we're going to try to get Evan Neal and Treylon Burks both on cheap 1-year deals. We did lose Jalen Naylor, so Treylon Burks would be our receiver 3, and Evan Neal is somebody we can maybe play at guard. And if we end up losing one of our tackles, maybe he can start for a season if we keep him around. So let's go ahead and send these offers through. I doubt we're going to get either of them. We actually do get Treylon Burks, and nobody else has offered for Evan Neal yet. The Cardinals are trying to get him, and he goes to the Cardinals, even though he was interested in the team, and we had technically a higher offer. We were technically tied for it. Who cares? We didn't get Evan Neal. My feelings aren't hurt. I can't tell if I'm talking too fast or if I've just had too much caffeine and not enough water because I'm breathing pretty heavy. I'm going to go get some water. So we're not going to be picking very high in this year's draft, and the draft pick that we received from the Eagles is going to be the last pick in the 2nd round. If we're picking late because we're making the NFC Championship, that's a problem that I'm very okay with having. So let's go ahead and sim to our pick at number 29 and see who's going to be available for us. There is a pretty decent safety on the board in Dante McLeod. He's only 21 years old out of Florida with pretty good physicals. However, his skills just don't really jump out at me. This guy's probably like a 75 overall. I would like to find a replacement for Harrison Smith and Josh Metellus for when that time comes, but I don't think this guy's worth a 1st-round pick. There's a 278-pound power rusher who's only 22 years old out of Clemson who is a round 1 talent. He has elite excel with great strength, A pursuit, A power moves, B block shedding. I don't think this guy will be a starter now, but if we have to move on from Harrison Phillips, Javon Hargrave, or Jonathan Allen, this guy will be perfect to slip into the roster. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Deion Pryor here in the 1st round. He was ranked 16 in true value, and of course he only has normal dev, even though he's supposed to go in the 2nd to 3rd round, was a round 1 talent, but whatever, he's not going to start this year anyways. Let's get into our next pick. We're going to have 2 late 2nd round picks here to work with. I kind of like Jordan Ollie. Honestly, he's a free safety out of Washington State, 22 years old. Not the craziest physicals, but a lot of B to D, so he could have upside. He also could suck, but B zone coverage, B block shedding, B hit power, B injury, and A awareness. I think he'll be a pretty decent overall. I'm kind of banking on him having a dev trait. This is another player that's not going to be a starter this year, but he was ranked 46 in true value, and he also has normal dev, so I feel like we made 2 good picks when it comes to value, but neither of them had dev traits. So we did lose Ed Oliver, who was our backup tight end, and TJ Hawkinson, let's not act like he's the youngest tight end in the league. And Roy Luke is 22 years old out of Texas A&M, has A medium route, A spec catch, A awareness, and a lot of A to C's and B to D's. This guy should be pretty decent, and tight ends, especially in the somewhat later rounds, normally have dev traits, only ranked 113 in true value, but of course this is the player that we draft with hidden dev. Like, can Madden just make it make sense? Like, when we make a good value pick, they never have a dev trait, but when I draft a terrible pick, they always have a depth trait. Steve White is a guard out of TCU. He doesn't look crazy, but he's only 21 years old with A pass block power, A awareness, and A pass block finesse. This is another player that I don't know if he'll be a starter this year or not, but I think he'll be good and he can be rotated into the offensive line. Another good value pick, and we got a dev trade out of this one. I think we had a pretty decent draft other than getting hosed out of a couple dev trades. I would call that a success. We'll look at the draft recap. We'll hop into year number 2. It does suck we couldn't really do much in free agency because we did have an NFC championship team last year, but hopefully we can have a slightly better regular season, get a little bit of an easier playoff schedule, build some morale, and maybe make a push for the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, so the DN we drafted in the first round is a 76 overall. I think that was a great pick. The free safety we got is a 75. We got a 71 overall tight end, a 72 overall guard. The CPU got us a 77 overall corner in the late 4th round. And this guy also only has normal dev. Like, Madden, just make it make sense, man. However, that is a very good pick by the CPU there. The guard we drafted was actually a great pick. He's going to end up being a starter this year. Treylon Burks is going to be our receiver 3 for this season. With our wide receiver 1 and 2 both being as good as they are and us having TJ Hawkinson, I think it'll work out fine. And with us getting a rookie tight end, we could even make Hawkinson like the backup slot receiver if we want to. But Aaron Jones is regressing, so it'll probably be Ashton Jeanty's season here pretty soon. And then the defense is pretty much the same other than Dallas Turner being a starter this year. The secondary definitely got a little bit weaker, which is why the CPU taking that corner for us was as valuable as it was. And we also have Pryor, who will probably be getting rotated in on the defensive line a little bit. And when we end up losing one of these guys, we will have a great replacement. So after making the NFC Championship last year, our season goal for this year is going to be to win the Super Bowl. And then with both of our safeties being on the older side and our corner group being very thin, I think it's pretty obvious what we're going to go with as our tier 3 scout this season. We're going to go with cornerback and safety. And we're ready to get year 2 underway. We're going to go ahead and send to the mid-season, checking on any re-signings we need to make, and hopefully we can sink into the playoffs again. Last year, our playoffs weren't changed till the mid-season, so hopefully we'll start off a little bit hotter here at the beginning of the season. So we are slightly better here at the midseason. We're coming off a loss to the Green Bay Packers where we allowed 52 points, which is not what I'm really trying to see, but we are 4-2 this season. For re-signings, we need to bring back Ryan O'Neal. We need to re-sign Blake Cashman. We probably won't re-sign Aaron Jones now that we have Ashton Jeanty. Treylon Burks is not that important to me. There's not too many crazy names here. We got a Harrison Phillips replacement as well. Harrison Smith, if he's still around at the end of the season, we'll consider bringing him back. Same with Ryan Kelly, but I would like to bring back Brian O'Neill, who is not interested in the team right now, so we're probably going to have to overpay. We're going to give him a 3-year, $84 million offer, which he does not take. That wasn't a crazy amount of money for as good of an offensive tackle as Brian O'Neill, so I wouldn't hate paying him a little bit more and trying to make sure we get him back. Blake Cashman is 30. I don't really want him on a 3-year deal. I'll give him 2-year, $21 million. And he actually does take it. I was not expecting that to go through. I think that's a pretty good value signing. And then the rest of these players, I think I'm going to hold off until the end of the season on re-signing. Javon Hargrave's contract will be up too, so we'll see what we want to do with the defensive line. So let's go ahead and get to the end of year number 2. Hopefully we're once again in the playoffs, and maybe we can just win one more game this season in the playoffs and see ourselves in the Super Bowl. Let's get to the end of the season and see how this team does. So we do win one extra game this season, going 11-6. We did not win the division again. This time we lose it to the Green Bay Packers. We had the #1 scoring offense, but the 23rd defense in points per game. It might be time here pretty soon to switch to a 4-3 defense. They're so much better in this year's Madden, I've noticed, or maybe I'm just not using a good playbook, but I'm using the one I would normally use. But let's go ahead and see how everybody did this season. JJ McCarthy led the league in passing yards, and I saw something crazy there for a second. He threw 53 passing touchdowns, almost 5,000 yards, over 50 passing touchdowns to 14 interceptions. Aaron Jones definitely had a down season. We do have his replacement, Ashton Jeanty, for next season. 930 yards, a little under 4 per carry. He did get in the end zone 10 times though. Justin Jefferson with 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns. TJ Hawkinson with 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. Treylon Burks got himself an 1,000-yard season and 16 touchdowns. He could possibly get a dev up, and there's a world out there where we're going to develop Treylon Burks to be a good receiver for this team. And if Jordan Addison would have found a way to get 60 more receiving yards, we would have had 4 1,000-yard receivers. Defensively, Blake Cashman leads the team in tackles again with 100. We got 13 sacks and 7 TFLs out of Jonathan Allen this season, 11 sacks out of Jonathan Grenard, 8.5 out of Dallas Turner, and 7 out of Javon Hargrave. These are the numbers I expect to see out of our defense. I don't know why we're allowing so many points though. 2 picks out of Blake Cashman, 2 out of Harrison Smith, 2 out of Isaiah Rodgers, and then 1 out of Blackman, Metellus, Murphy, and Ivan Pace. Now, we're probably not going to win MVP because we threw a lot of interceptions. MVP actually is going to go to JJ McCarthy. That is insane. Makes me very happy to see, though. I would love if there's a world out there where this could happen. Offensive Player of the Year is going to go to Justin Jefferson as well. Defensive Player of the Year goes to DeMarcus Lawrence on the Seahawks. What's funny is I don't even know if he was on the Seahawks in these rosters. I guess they ended up picking him up anyway, just like in real life, which is cool to see. But we're going to come in 9th with Jonathan Allen and 10 with Jonathan Grenard. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Steven Watson for the Saints, and Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Ronnie Gordon for the Panthers. All of the rookies we had this year were really just getting rotated in other than our offensive guard, so I didn't expect us to win any of those. But we're going to be going against the 9-8 Atlanta Falcons here in the wild card. They won their division at 9-8, so we're going to be playing in Atlanta. We are a higher overall. We won 2 more games in the season. I do expect us to win this playoff game, and we do. We beat them by 18 points, 31-13. And we unfortunately have to go against the 14-3 Green Bay Packers, who had the second scoring offense this season. Their defense wasn't great, but our defense was worse. So if they drop another 50 bomb on us, we're just going to lose. Let's go ahead and sim to the NFC Championship. Can we make it to back NFC champion? What I tried to say is, can we make it to back-to-back NFC championships? The answer was no. We do lose to the Green Bay Packers, which I think is fair enough. We still won the MVP with JJ McCarthy, so he's going to go up to X Factor. He's going to keep developing like crazy. When his contract comes up, it's going to get scary though. And I think the Eagles just three-peated. The Eagles just beat the Colts, weirdly enough, 49-17 in the Super Bowl. That's just insane. So the Eagles are going to be the first ever team to three-peat the Super Bowl, so at least something cool has happened in this rebuild so far. But JJ McCarthy is now an X Factor, sitting at a 98 overall with morale. Ashton Jeanty is going to be the starting running back this year. This guard we drafted, by the way, ended up having X Factor. I didn't even know that could be a thing. It also looks like Ryan Kelly retired, so we're going to need a new center. TJ Hawkinson's up to X Factor. I don't know how Treylon Burks did not go up to star dev after last season. I do kind of like the idea of keeping him around for a couple more seasons, because if we can get him another stat line like we did this year, he's going to be great. Also, that tight end we drafted last season to be TJ Hawkinson's future replacement has superstar as well, so that was a very good draft last season. Jonathan Grenard is going to go up to X Factor. Dallas Turner's up to an 85 overall, and it looks like Harrison Smith did finally call it quits, so we're going to need to find ourselves a safety this year. Harrison Phillips and Javon Hargrave are both regressing, and both of their contracts are up, so we'll probably let both of them go, and we have their replacement in prior. So I'm glad that we drafted to prepare ourselves for this. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into these re-signings, see who we're going to have to unfortunately let go of. We are going to have to work on re-signing Brian O'Neill. We have the 5th year for JJ McCarthy. $66 million is a very expensive 5th year, but he's not interested in the team. He's a 94 overall X Factor. When his contract comes up, it is going to be insanely expensive. If we can push that off for 1 more year, I will gladly do it. We also have the 5th year for Dallas Turner, only $13 million. I'll pick that up any day of the week. And then we're going to give Brian O'Neill a way better offer here. We're going to give him 3 years, $91 million, and he'd like to play for a new team next year. We were offering him over 3 years, over $30 million a year. A tag's only $23 million. I'm going to go ahead and tag Brian O'Neill here. We're going to let Aaron Jones go. If Treylon Burks takes a 2-year, $12 million deal, I'll bring him back. If not, we can replace him in the draft or free agency. And he actually does come back, so we won't have to worry about replacing him. We're going to let Blackman go. We're going to let Isaiah Rodgers go. We're going to let Harrison Phillips go. We're going to let Javon Hargrave go. I think that's going to be all the players we're going to bring back here in free agency. We'll have about $20 million probably to work with in free agency to try to bring back, to try to sign maybe like 1 or 2 players, but our roster is pretty good, and I would like to hold on to some of this money because we will have to re-sign JJ McCarthy eventually. Like Linderbaum is somebody I would love to go for, but he wants $14 million a year and he's not interested, so we would have to heavily overpay. We don't need Sam Laporta. We don't need Rashee Rice. We could maybe use a Jair, but he wants $20 million a year and already has 6 offers and isn't interested in the team. Charvarius Ward is someone I would not hate going for. I actually really wanted us to get him this offseason, so I'm going to shoot him a little 1-year deal, and then I think I'm going to try to go for Brandon Jones as well on a 2-year deal, try to get a little band-aid option at safety in case we're not able to draft one this season. So we're the only offer for Ward and we're the top offer for Brandon Jones. Let's go ahead and send these through. I expect us to get both of these players. We got Charvarius Ward. We're still the leading offer for Brandon Jones. And of course he doesn't sign with us because, you know, why would he? But that's all right. I think we can draft a safety. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the draft and see how much better we can make this team. So I don't think we need to worry about the offense whatsoever in this year's draft. We have a great receiving core. We have a great offensive line. Maybe we could take a center somewhere in the late rounds. I wouldn't hate doing that. But defensively, we definitely need to work on this defensive line just a little bit. I do like that we drafted Pryor, but we could maybe get one more player. I also think after this season, I'll probably be changing to a 4-3. We're going to need to get another safety. We did draft Ollie last year, so if we're not able to get one, it's not the end of the world. We really were smart last year drafting for positions that we could potentially be losing because we ended up losing a lot of players. But I think we're once again just going to stick and pick and see what kind of value will fall to us here at pick number 26. So there are 2 round 1 talent corners available, and one of them is actually a zone corner. This is somebody we could draft and potentially even move to safety if we want to. With B zone coverage, B tackle, B press, B catching. He is only 5'10", so he's definitely not going to be like a Harrison Smith kind of guy, but there's also a couple round 1 to 2 talents that aren't projected to go till later, so maybe there's a D tackle we could get out here somewhere. For example, John Barnett, he doesn't have the highest awareness, but he's only 21 years old out of Michigan with insane physicals. C to F block shedding really sucks. I'm guessing this guy's like some sort of rusher. Yeah, he's going to be a power rusher with A, play rec, B, power moves, B, hit power, B, tackle. I think John Barnett is actually going to be our first round pick here. And plus, Jonathan Allen, once again, he is on the older side. We'll lose him eventually. So even if this guy doesn't start this year, he's a valuable pick. Not the best in true value, but he has hit in dev 90 strength and 79 speed, 84 excel at 300 pounds. I will take that any day of the week. And then one of those round 1 to 2 talent corners should still be available for us here in the second round. And I wouldn't hate moving one of them to safety if we need to. And the one that is available is also a zone corner. He's 6 foot tall, pretty decent physical, A, tackle, A, zone coverage, B, block shedding, A, awareness. I actually think this guy could be a pretty decent safety. And if he has a dev trade, I'll definitely start him over the guy we drafted last year. So let's go ahead and take Tyron Williams here in the second round. Ranked 26 in true value, another hit in dev. I think that was a pretty good pick. If he's not very good at safety, we could also move him back to corner if we ever need to. And then here in the third round, I'll probably just go with the best player on the board, like regardless of position. For example, it is very rare for an A, awareness tackle to fall this late in the draft. If you don't get an offensive tackle in like the first or second round normally, you're not going to get one. This guy is not crazy, but he has A, lead block, B, impact blocking, A, awareness, and B, stamina. Definitely very good value for the third round. His true value will probably be pretty low, which it is, but he has hit in dev, and if we end up losing Brian O'Neill or Christian Darrisaw, we have another tackle to be rotated into the roster. So we'll let the CPU have the rest of the draft. I would consider that a very successful draft by us. We weren't getting hosed on dev traits this year. We got a few good players. I'm probably going to convert the defense to a 4-3, which sucks because the Brian Flores 3-4 defense and the way he schemes his blitz packages is so sick. But in Madden, 4-3s are just better. Yeah, I actually really like our draft. We got a 73 overall D tackle in the first round. Not the best value. He'll get rotated in his rookie year, and then once we lose Jonathan Allen, he could definitely be a starter. We got a 75 overall corner who I do plan on moving to safety. And even if he isn't a higher overall than Ollie, and we do want to play him at slot corner, I wouldn't hate that either. And he's actually a 77 overall free safety, so we will definitely be starting him this season. And then we got Brent Russell, who won't be a starter this year, but he will definitely come in handy in the later years when we can't afford to re-sign our tackles right now. So here's how the roster looks going into year number 3. I really like our offense. It actually wants Russell to be our starting center this year. I just don't know how I feel about starting a tackle at center. Like, how realistic is that? But it is Madden. He's a 74 overall center. I'm just going to leave him there for now. Who cares? I kind of forgot that I said I was going to take a center in one of the later rounds. But we have a good receiving core. Aston Jeanty's going to be the #1 back this year. I'll probably pick up some sort of backup running back just out of free agency real quick. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and move everybody around and make this a 4-3 defense real quick. So give me just 1 second to do that. All right, we actually got 77 overall X-Factor washed up Nick Chubb to be our backup running back this season. We changed the defense to a 4-3. It looks a little weird looking at the Vikings defense as a 4-3. We're going to make sure Williams is starting as the safety this year. We could probably use one more linebacker, but I'm pretty sure there's really only 2 ever playing at the same time normally. So plus we could maybe have Ollie or Williams playing a little bit of sub linebacker for us as well. So we're going to have that Dallas Cowboys mindset. We're going to once again set the season goal to be to win the Super Bowl this year. And I really don't even know what to scout this season. I feel like we could still probably use a younger corner. Travarius Ward's kind of just a band-aid option. And Blake Cashman is a little bit on the older side. So we'll go cornerback, middle linebacker. So let's get to the midseason of year 3, checking on the re-signings, and hopefully we can be like 4-3, 5-2 here at the midseason. And we are 4-3 at the midseason. I will definitely take that. Let's check in with what players we need to re-sign here at this midseason. We have Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Byron Murphy, Jonathan Grenard, Jonathan Allen, Travarius Ward, Brian O'Neill. Wow, this is going to get sketchy. We only have $64 million. First things first, we obviously want to make sure we bring back Jordan Addison. I'll even give him a 5-year deal worth $118 million. It's a great deal. He's just not ready to say yes. I don't know what's up with that. TJ Hawkinson, as much as I love him, I just feel like with us having his replacement ready and how much money he's asking for and the cap situation we're dealing with right now, it's not the smartest idea to re-sign him. We'll consider bringing him back at the end of the season, but this is probably going to be TJ Hawkinson's last year as a Viking. Byron Murphy's not interested in the team, but he's 29, and this is pretty cheap. So I'm going to see if he wants like a 2-year, $21 million deal, and he does not accept either. It's starting to get a little bit sketchy. Jonathan Grenard is aging. He'll probably regress just a little bit by the end of the season, be a little bit cheaper. Jonathan Allen, we have his replacement. He's also not interested. Maybe we'll look back at this at the end of the season. I don't know. It's looking like all these contracts we're going to have to come back to at the end of the year and just pray that we can get a little bit lucky with some of these re-signings. Middle linebackers are a strength of the class, but I'll probably just use a couple of the focus players on the middle linebackers, and we're going to set our focus scout to corner because we could lose Byron Murphy. We're probably going to lose Travarius Ward. We really need to work on this secondary right now. But let's go ahead and get to the end of the season of year 3. Hopefully we're at least in the playoffs because our team's starting to fall apart now. So if we could try to make a Super Bowl push in one of these years before the team falls apart, that would be great. And we just finished year number 3, 14-3. It was not enough to get the 1 seed. We did win the division, though. It looks like the Eagles get the 1 seed going at 14-3, but I will definitely take that season. I actually do want to show you guys the crazy win streak that we went on because I was simming to week 3 manually because I wanted to set our focus players. So we were actually 3-3 at week 6, and then we won 11 games in a row to finish off the season. So we are coming into the playoffs hot. So let's go ahead and check on everybody's stats for this season. JJ McCarthy was 3rd in the NFL with passing yards this year, just under 5,000 through 41 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. He is balling out. Ashton Jeanty was very good in his first year as a starter, averaged over 4 yards a carry, got 12 touchdowns, and was 2 yards short of 1,000 yards. Jay Jettas with another great season, 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns. Hawkinson with 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. We got another 1,000-yard season out of Traylon Burks, 805 out of Jordan Addison, and 7 touchdowns. Defensively, Blake Cashman's going to lead the team in tackles this year with 115. We got 13 sacks out of Jonathan Grenard, 12 out of Deion Pryor in his first year as a starter with 9 TFLs. Hopefully that's enough to get him a dev up, maybe. 8 sacks out of Dallas Turner, 5.5 out of Jonathan Allen. We got 6 interceptions out of Byron Murphy. We're definitely going to need to try to bring him back. And then 1 out of Blake Cashman, and that was it for the whole team. MVP this year is going to go to Patrick Mahomes. That's no shocker, but we did come in 3rd with JJ McCarthy, and we won Coach of the Year with Kevin O'Connell. We once again won Offensive Player of the Year with Justin Jefferson, JJ McCarthy in 2nd place. Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Kenneth Grant for the Falcons. We're down here at number 10 with Jonathan Grenard. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Rich Bush on the Rams, and Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Jonathan Dorsey for the Saints. Once again, our rookies were kind of just rotation players, except for our safety, but I didn't expect him to win Rookie of the Year. We have a wild card game here against the Cardinals. We're finally going to get to be playing at home. They only went 9-8. We are 2 overalls higher than them. I do expect us to win this game and move on to the divisional. All right, now I'm just getting annoyed. This game is so bad, bro. We just lost to the 9-8 Cardinals. All right, I guess let's just get ready for your number 4. That's cool. We're going to lose a bunch of players, and the team's going to get significantly worse, and I'm sure we're probably going to win the Super Bowl then. So the Cardinals, really, bro? We lose to the Cardinals in the playoffs as a 14-3 team. Like, honestly, it's pretty realistic. Like, we went 14-3 this year to lose to the Rams. So, dude, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl again. So they won it in 2024. This was obviously against the Chiefs in real life. Then they beat the Ravens at the Super Bowl. Then they beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. And then they beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Whatever, bro. It's because they haven't had to go through us yet. Actually, I think they did beat us in one of the NFC championships, but they're lucky these last couple seasons they didn't have to go against us. That's what I'm saying. Did Traylon Burks get a dev up, and did our defensive lineman get a dev up? No, Traylon Burks is still sitting at normal dev. I don't think we got a single dev up on the offense, but we just have so many dev traits that that's fine. And Pryor also did not go up to star. I really thought he would. Williams, our rookie safety we took, actually a superstar, so that's big. Blake Cashman is starting to regress, so we probably will take a linebacker at some point in this year's draft. I really like our defensive line. Barnett has star, and we might lose Jonathan Allen this season, so our defensive line might be Pryor and Barnett, but Pryor was great as a starter this year, so hopefully we can bring back Jonathan Grenard. If not, I think we can make do. This season's definitely going to get a little bit scary with all the contracts we have coming up, but let's see who we are able to bring back here. So Jordan Addison did not accept our last offer. We're going to give him 5 years, $120 million instead, which he does accept. We have the 5th year for Ashton Jeanty, $9.1 million. I'll pick that up every day of the week. I think we're going to move on from TJ Hawkinson. We just don't have the cap right now to be re-signing somebody that we have a replacement for, especially since he's 31 years old. Makes me sad to see him go, but it's all right. We're going to bump Byron Murphy's contract up a little bit. We'll give him 2 years, $22 million. He had a great season, and he would like to play for a new team next year. That is unfortunate. I don't think we're going to be able to get Jonathan Grenard back. I mean, this isn't crazy expensive for 2 years. 2 years, $39 million. Does he accept this? He does not. It's getting sketchy. Jonathan Allen also doesn't want to. Oh, Jonathan Allen does want a decent amount of money. If he takes 2 years, $50 million, I'll bring him back. He doesn't take it. We're losing a lot of players this offseason. With us losing everybody, I don't think we can really afford to lose Tarvarius Ward. We'll give him 1 year, $5.5 million, and he resigns. And then we only tagged Brian O'Neill last year, so we still have to resign him as well. We did draft a tackle last season, though. I think we let Brian O'Neill go, and then we maybe tag one of these players. Dude, I don't know. All these tags are just so expensive. But I think we're going to let Brian O'Neill go. With us having a little bit of money left, do we just consider bringing back Hawkinson? I don't know. It's kind of like, what was the point in drafting that tight end a couple years ago if we're going to re-sign Hawkinson for all this money now that his contract's up? I think we're going to let him hit free agency. Holding on to this money could be worth it because there could be a very good pass rusher that we could replace Jonathan Grenard with here. So that's really what we're banking on. Jahmyr Gibbs is available. We obviously don't need him. We could go with somebody like Jalen Carter to be. We only have $7 million. I thought we had like $30 million. Okay, so tell me why right here it says we have $33 million, But then when we enter free agency, okay, well now it doesn't say how much money we have. Whatever, bro. See, like a Will Anderson would just be so sick. He's just not like all the good players that are young are just not interested in the team. Yo, my game's just like completely frozen. $1 billion company, by the way. Okay, I think I finally fixed it. So we're not gonna go for Jalen Carter because he wants almost $40 million a year. Now I do want to go for Will Anderson. He's just not really interested. But we could also go with like a Terrion Arnold maybe. And we just can't afford to give Will Anderson $30 million a year, honestly. So we're gonna go for Terrion Arnold, try to bring him in to be basically our new cornerback 1. We're going to go for Nolan Smith as well, try to add him to the pass rush. He's not interested, so there's a good chance he gets other offers and we don't end up getting him. But I think we'll get Terrion Arnold, which is going to be a great signing. Of course, for his number 1 offer, and he just goes to a different team. Like, I just don't understand. So we're tied for the offer for Quinyon Mitchell. We're obviously not going to get him. We're going to go for Cooper Beebe as well, because then the tackle we drafted last year that was playing center, weirdly enough, can go out to play where Brian O'Neill was, and Cooper Beebe will be our starting center. So let's send these offers through. We get Cooper Beebe. We, of course, do not get Terrion Arnold. This game's starting to get so annoying. Like, how are we the only full green offer for a player that is very interested in the team and we just don't get him? Like, I just, like, genuinely don't understand, like, how that makes sense. So, yeah, the roster definitely took a little bit of a hit this year. We thought we were going to be able to make it work through free agency, and it just wasn't the case. At least we kept the offense looking pretty good. Lucas is going to be the number 1 tight end this season. We still have a good receiving core. The offense is honestly very good. It's just this defense. We lost a pass rusher. We lost our number 1 corner. Like, we're going to have to do a lot in the draft this year. We lost Jonathan Allen too. I like Pryor and I like Barnett. We still have Dallas Turner. We're going to need to find a way to get a pass rusher this year. We need to get a corner as well. I don't really know. This sucks. I wonder what value we could get for the 24th overall pick. I don't know. I feel like with this weird spot we've entered with this team now, we're just going to have to let the defense suck and just try to see if we can build it through the draft, I guess. So there's 2 round 1 talents projected to go pretty late at middle linebacker that I focus scouted. So we'll definitely be able to get one of those in the later round. And then there's also 2 round 1 talent corners still available. One of them projected to go in the 2nd to 3rd round. I'm guessing Bernard Holt won't be available at our next 2nd round pick, but there's also a round 1 talent UDFA that we could get in like the 5th or 6th round. So we'll see what we want to do at corner. I'm thinking the first pick is just going to have to be a pass rusher. I mean, a 22-year-old speed rusher with elite excel, great speed, and A finesse moves. Like, do we take a chance on somebody like this guy who's not projected to go to a little bit later? Do we maybe try to trade back a little bit in the 1st round and try to get some extra value like we did a couple years ago and then take that guy? Like, I mean, we got a 2nd round pick from the Eagles last time we did this. I'd be willing to trade back a little bit in the 1st round. We're going to go ahead and accept this trade from the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to move back to 30, but we're also going to get an extra 3rd round pick for this year. So we'll still be able to get that pass rusher we were looking at. I don't think he's going to go here anytime soon. And then we get an extra 3rd round pick as well. So yeah, Gerald Benson is still on the board. He looks like the best pass rusher available to me. We're going to go ahead and use our 1st round pick here on him. 51 in true value, a little bit of a reach, but I really just want him to have a dev trait, which he does. 78 strength, 83 speed, 90 excel at 6'5", 250 pounds. Hopefully he can have a good rookie season, especially if we could get him defensive rookie of the year somehow. That'll be very big. And I don't know how I skipped over this, but there is a top 5 talent corner projected to go in the 3rd to 4th round. I know he's not projected to go till later, but it's not a reach if he's a top 5 talent. I will say the last like 10 times I've taken a top 5 talent that was projected to go later, they have normal dev every time. But I'm going to take a top 5 talent if he's on the board. I don't care where I'm drafting at. Ranked 4 in true value, and he actually has hidden dev, 93 speed, 93 excel, 6'1", 200 pounds, only 21 years old. That is a great pick. I'm glad we set corner as the focus position. We're going to have 3 picks here in the 3rd round, and both the round 1 talent middle linebackers are both available. CJ Jackson's only 21 years old out of Colorado. Not the craziest physicals, but he looks pretty damn good. I will just take a quick look at the other guy before I draft him, because if Monte Matthews has like elite speed or something like that, he could end up being the better pick. They honestly look very, very similar, and CJ Jackson's going to be 1 year younger. So we're going to go ahead and use this pick on CJ Jackson. Ranked 19 in true value, hidden dev, 87 speed, 87 excel. I don't know if we're going to move on from Blake Cashman this year, but when that time does inevitably come, we'll have his replacement. And then we have another pick here in the 3rd round. We got a pass rusher, we got a linebacker, we got a corner. I think we basically just go best available on the defensive side of the ball here, because our defense just took so many hits last year. I mean, we don't really need D-tackle, but Deshaun Bowman probably does look like the best player available other than that round 1 talent who was a UDFA at corner that we might take here later. But he's only 21 years old. He has elite strength, A tackle, B power moves, and B block shedding especially is going to come in very handy. He might not be a starter, but he's the best player available, and we need as much help as we can get on the defensive side of the ball. He's a round 1 talent and ranked to 24 in true value with 97 strength and hidden dev. we might have to start him his rookie year. We'll just have to see what we want to do there. I think I'm going to use this pick here in the 4th round to get that UDFA corner. That was an insane prospect, even though we could draft him later. I mean, if he's a round 1 talent, why would we not take him here? Nathan White, 21 years old out of Wisconsin, elite excel, agility, change of direction, A-man coverage, B tackling. I don't know how this guy's a round 1 talent, but we're going to go ahead and take him anyway because he is a round 1 talent. Ranked 20. He was ranked 8 in true value. Jesus Lord. He does only have normal dev. I feel like this makes a little bit of sense because he's a UDFA. He's going to be great as a rookie, but he's never going to be insane as like a starting veteran corner, if that makes sense. So I think him having normal dev actually does make a little bit of sense, but we just got a top 5 talent in the 4th round of the draft. So we'll hand the rest over to the CPU, but I think that was a very successful draft for us. I don't think we made a single offensive pick. And just like that, we got a 74 overall pass rusher who could potentially be a starter this year, a 79 overall corner who will easily be a starter, 75 overall middle linebacker, 75 overall D tackle, a 77 overall corner, and then the CPU just did terrible. But I think we had a very good draft. We drafted all defense and they were all very good players. Even if they're not going to be starters, having rotational players on the defense with how many hits we took last year is going to come in so helpful. Here's how the offense looks. I'll still probably once again go find us a backup running back, but the offensive line looks great. Lucas is going to be our starting tight end this year. I think with how many receiving options we have, it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. We got a new linebacker. He probably will end up being like the 3rd sub linebacker, so he'll definitely get some reps. We're going to go ahead and move Kemp up to the 2nd corner in the depth chart. Benson's going to be a starter as a rookie. And then Bowman will definitely get rotated in a little bit. I don't know how much playing time he'll get, but if he ends up having like Superstar or X Factor or something like that, we'll definitely make sure that he becomes a starter. But Pryor was really good whenever he was on the field, so I do want to keep giving him his opportunities. We also need a kicker and punter. I'll make sure we do that, and I really need to mess with these specialists, so let me do that real quick. All right, I got us a kicker and punter. I made sure the specialists were actually right now. We're just going to set the same season goal until we have a bad season. We're going to set it to win the Super Bowl. We were 14-3 last year and then lost our first playoff game. Like, that's just starting to get really frustrating. Now, what do we scout this year? That's the question. I mean, I think we just keep looking at the secondary. I mean, Charvarius Ward's still is still a starting corner for us. And I think Josh Metellus is still a starting safety and he's aging, so we definitely do need to look at that position a little bit. Let's get to the midseason of year number 4 here. Clearly, it doesn't matter what we're going to be like at the midseason unless we're like 1-5 because we've made the playoffs every season. It's really just going to be the playoffs that are holding us back every year. So let's go ahead. Let's get to the midseason here. And we are sitting at 6-1 at the midseason. That is exactly what you want to see. We have 166 million, so I know there's about to be a lot of big contracts here, and the first 2 players I see are JJ McCarthy and Jay Jettas, and for whatever reason, after making the playoffs every season, neither of them are interested in the team, so that's just great. But we also need to re-sign Dallas Turner. Other than that, there's not too many crazy names, so we should be able to afford to get JJ McCarthy and Jay Jettas back, even though we're going to have to insanely overpay. This is almost $90 million a year that I'm having to offer JJ McCarthy. I'm going to bump this down a little bit because that's just actually insane. Like, the fact that this game just makes players uninterested for genuinely no reason actually is really annoying. So we're going to have to give JJ McCarthy 7 years, $80 million a year. I mean, if he doesn't take this, he's just crazy. Like, you were looking for a better offer than $80 million a year. Insane. And we're basically going to have to pay Jay Jettas quarterback money. 4 years, $194 million. We're paying him almost $50 million a season. Like, bro, this game is just so garbage. Anyways, Dallas Turner, we'll definitely bring him back. He's being normal. He's not going to make me pay him $100 million. We're going to give him a 4-year, $96 million deal, which he does take. And then any of these players we want to bring back, we'll look back at the end of the season. But I think number 1 priority is going to be locking down McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. I might even offer them a deal in these next couple weeks to try to make sure we can get them locked down. I wouldn't even hate maybe like tagging McCarthy next season or Jay Jettas because it will end up being cheaper for 1 year. But I feel like that just runs the risk of ending up losing them eventually. So we'll see what we want to do. I'll probably sim 1 week and give them 1 more offer. And then we're going to set the focus position to corner again. I feel like there's always very good corners in the draft. So it's definitely one of the best positions to set as your focus position and know what kind of talent every single one is. We found a top 5 talent that was projected to go in like the 3rd or 4th round. We found a top 10 talent that was a UDFA. So I think that's probably the best position to use your focus scout on. Let's sim 1 week. Let's hopefully beat the Titans here. And let's see how much money we're going to have to pay JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. We do beat the Titans to advance to 7-1. And this is where it gets interesting. How much money are we going to have to pay these fuckers? So we're going to give JJ McCarthy another $1 million a year, bringing it up to 7 years, $567 million. And he resigns. We just paid him $81 million a year, by the way. And then maybe we can get away with doing the same thing with Justin Jefferson. 4 years, $198 million, almost $50 million a year. And he does not resign. I mean, I will come back to at the end of the season and just give him all our money, apparently. Like, as much as it hurts me to say this, because this would never happen in real life. Jay Jettas is not going to make us give him $50 million at 29 years old. and he wouldn't be uninterested in the team after making the playoffs every season and putting up the numbers that he's been putting up. Madden just makes him uninterested for basically no reason, but I do want to bring him back to keep it realistic, but it's almost to a point where we'd be better off letting him go and trying to develop somebody else that we aren't going to have to be paying $50 million a year to, and not being able to sign any free agents at all during this rebuild, because we already had to pay our quarterback $80 million a year. Anyways, I'll see you guys at the end of the season. With them asking for that much money, we better be in the damn playoffs. And after being 7-1, we finished this season 11-6, meaning we went like 4-5 to finish the year, coming off of 2 losses going into the playoffs. Something I've realized in this game is when you need to re-sign a player, they play so insanely good, and then the second you re-sign them, they stop. Or it's not that they stop like playing good, it's just that they definitely drop to a different level. So we actually had the very last defense in yards allowed this year, so that's just great. JJ McCarthy was 4th in the NFL in passing yards with 4,700, 45 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He is playing great, so I get why he wanted a huge contract, but the fact that I had to pay him, $81 million a year is actually beyond me. Ashton Jeanty averaged almost 5 yards a carry. He's just not getting many rushing attempts, honestly, but 950 yards and 14 touchdowns, I will take that. JJ McCarthy also had 8 touchdowns on the ground, by the way. Jay Jettas with 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns. He's putting up these numbers and making the playoffs every year and doesn't want to re-sign like that. Traylon Burks with another 1,000-yard season. How has he not gone up to star dev yet? He has continued to play fantastic. Jordan Addison with another down year, 750 yards, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, Ivan Pace leads the team in tackles this year with 111. We got 16 sacks out of Dallas Turner. That should be enough for him to go up to superstar, which would be super helpful. Gerald Benson as a rookie with 8.5 sacks and 12 TFLs. That could be enough for defensive rookie of the year and get him a dev up. Deion Pryor was pretty good, 7.5 sacks, 7 TFLs. I'll definitely take that. 4 picks out of Ivan Pace, 3 out of Josh Patelis, 2 out of Travarius Ward, 2 out of Doug Davenport, and then 1 out of a few other players. Joe Burrow's going to win MVP this year. JJ McCarthy comes in 2nd place once again. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Puka. Justin Jefferson gets 2nd. He didn't win it 3 years in a row now. Dallas Turner at number 4. We also got Ivan Pace at number 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Nate Young for the Commanders. Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Gerald Benson for us, so he's going to get a dev up. That's going to help out our defense a lot. I don't know why we had such a bad defense this year. I mean, it's not great, but we have our defense is only an 83 overall. Okay, it makes a little bit of sense. We're facing off the Bears here in the first round of the playoffs. We'll be playing at US Bank Stadium. I mean, we had the number 1 scoring offense. They had a pretty good defense, and we had a really bad defense. And I don't know, this is a pretty evenly matched game, but we're 3 overalls higher and we're playing at home, so we should win. But that's probably going to be the reason we lose. So we just beat the Bears 45-0. I gotta look at this. We're not playing any games this season. JJ McCarthy was 28 of 32, 4 touchdowns, no picks with 430 yards and had a perfect passer rating. Jeanty averaged over 4 yards a carry, got in the end zone. JJ McCarthy had a rushing touchdown as well. Justin Jefferson with 168 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. I don't know why Traylon Burks is just going crazy for us every game. And then Dallas Turner with 2 sacks. That was a beautiful game by us. We're gonna be taking on Philly here in the divisional, who is coming off of 4 straight Super Bowls. Maybe we can be the one to take them down. It really sucks that we have to play them here in the divisional, but we're coming off a 45-0 win against the Bears in the playoffs, and they barely beat the Cowboys. They're only 1 overall higher. They are going to be playing at home, but after our loss to the Cardinals last year in the playoffs, clearly none of that matters. Can we please beat the Eagles and go to the NFC Championship? No, we lose 31-21, and they're just going to win 5 Super Bowls in a row, apparently. This is getting so hard, bro. Our defense is playing so bad. Like, there's only so much I can do when the game just makes the Eagles win the Super Bowl every year. The Eagles have finally lost the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow is the one to take them down. Jamar Chase wins Super Bowl MVP, but the Eagles did once again make it to the Super Bowl. I honestly kind of forgot what year we're in the rebuild. I want to say that was year 4. Yeah, so that was year 4, so this will be year 5 that we're entering right now, and we have 0 Super Bowls and 0 Super Bowl appearances. That's pretty cool. Kind of sounds like my life in real life being a Vikings fan. But Dallas Turner, I feel like, should have gotten a dev up. Our defensive rookies should have gotten a dev up as well. Jay Jettas and JJ McCarthy are obviously 99 overall X factors. Still have a great offensive line. Offense honestly looks very good. Did Traylon Burks get a dev up yet? He still has not gotten one. Like, I really just want to give it to him, but Dallas Turner does not get a dev up, but Benson is going to be superstar, and the D tackle we drafted last year is actually going to be superstar as well. So we're going to make him a starter on the D line. Ivan Pace goes up to superstar. The team is starting to look very good. We just need this defense to play up to like what it looks like. Our defense is way better than how they're performing. Anyways, let's go give Justin Jefferson $50 million a year real quick and have no money. Like, what do I do? Do I bring him back or do I just try to replace him? Because our offer to him right now is $49.5 million a year. Like, and he's 30 years old and going to start regressing soon. Like, do we give him this offer or do we just try to draft a new receiver? He's been going crazy every season, but I just don't think it's going to be worth it. Pryor isn't doing much for us anymore. I don't think he's really going to be a starter anymore, so we're not going to pick up his 5th year. We're going to let Braylon Allen go. We'll re-sign Traylon Burks. He has been balling out every season. We'll give him 2 years, $12 million, see if he takes that. He doesn't. We're going to be losing Jay Jettas and Traylon Burks this season. I mean, I'll bring back Charvarius Ward for a cheap 1-year deal for $5.1 million, and that's probably going to be all the re-signings we make. I mean, we drafted Blake Cashman's replacement last year. I think we're going to let Blake Cashman go as well. I am curious how much a tag would be for Jay Jettas, so I'm just going to lower his offer like a lot so that he declines it so that we can give him a tag. A $47 million tag. Like, our team's really paying their receivers that much. I'm sorry. With him being 30 years old and how easy it is to develop receivers in this game, it's just not worth giving him $50 million a year on a 5-year deal, because by the time he reaches the end of that deal, he's going to be regressing. It's just not going to be worth it, and I'm sorry. And he is going to be the best available free agent. He's seeking $38 million a year and has 3 offers. If you only want $38 million a year, how come you didn't accept our $49 million a year contract? Josh Allen is a free agent, which is crazy. See, we could go for somebody like Devontae Smith. He's asking for $23 million a year. He's the same age. Will probably put up very similar numbers. So we're going to give him a 3-year, $76 million deal. It still is a slight overpay, but we're his top offer with it, and I think we could turn him into Justin Jefferson, or at least have him put up similar numbers. And then I don't think we need to bring in a corner this year. We have a young, like, developing corner group outside of Charvarius Ward, so if we could draft one more corner this year, by the time he's out, I think we'll be good. We could bring in like a Dre Greenlaw maybe, but the game thinks that Dre Greenlaw is a pass rusher because he's listed as an outside linebacker and you just have to overpay so much for him. I kind of want to bring back Treylon Burks, bro. He was balling for us. So we'll give Treylon Burks a little 2-year deal. So we're going to go for Devontae Smith. We're going to try to bring back Treylon Burks, and that's all we're going to do this offseason. We'll send these offers through. We get both of them. So the receiving core took a little bit of a hit. I think with how JJ McCarthy's playing right now, it really won't matter. We still have a 93 overall offense, and we saved ourselves over $30 million a year that we were going to have to pay Justin Jefferson because of how terrible this game is. So I don't hate what we did. So the roster now looks a lot different, but I still think we look pretty damn good. Our defense is still only an 84 overall, but it's mainly just because everybody's young and developing. Jackson's an X factor, so he's going to develop like crazy. Metellus is old. We should probably try to find a replacement for him. Charvarius Ward is regressing, but we have a lot of young corners outside of him, and I like our D-tackle group as well. So Pryor actually is going to be a starter once again, so we'll consider re-signing him by the time his deal comes up, but we have Barnett, we have Guzman, so I don't really think that's going to be that important. I'm thinking this year's draft, we maybe try to get a safety or something, and then with Devontae Smith being 30 and with Treylon Burks aging, it couldn't hurt to draft a receiver this year either. So let's hop into the draft. Let's see what value we can get. And yeah, I don't know. I'll consider drafting one more corner this year too if there's one of those like late round hidden prospects, because we're going to lose Charvarius Ward eventually. And yeah, there's a round 1 talent projected to go round 2 to 3. That is the latest round 1 talent there is though, but I wouldn't hate using our 2nd round pick on this guy. We'll just have to see. I mean, maybe we go with safety in the 1st round. There's a round 1 to 2 talent projected to go round 2 to 3. There's really nothing that I want to take here with this 1st round pick. So I'm going to be trading back again, but this year I'm going to be trading back for picks for next season. So I'm going to take this deal from the Seahawks. We'll also get an extra 4th for this year. So we'll have an extra 1st and 2nd for next year. We'll have another 4th round pick for this season. Some of those guys we were looking at may not fall to us now in the 2nd round, but I think that's okay. And the round 1 to 2 talent safety is still available. So I think this is going to be our pick. He's 22 years old. Not the craziest physicals, but A pursuit, A finesse moves, A awareness, B hit power, B tackle. This guy's going to be very helpful. We're going to go ahead and take Landry Matthews here in the 2nd round. Ranked 30 in true value. Very good value for the pick, and he has hidden dev. That's going to come in helpful because we are going to be moving on from Josh Metellus here pretty soon. And we're probably not going to get one of those corners, but the corner draft classes are so crazy every year. I don't think that's going to end up being a problem. Like maybe there's a receiver we could take a chance on. I mean, even though Sidney Griffin is around 3 to 4 talent, he actually doesn't look terrible. I don't think I would use my 3rd round pick on him. I'll check if he's available in the 4th round. I think we got to go defense just with how much but our defense like feels pretty complete. I don't really know. Do we trade this pick back too? I wouldn't hate it. I mean, our roster's really good right now. The Packers are going to offer us a 3, a 5, and a 6 for next year for this pick. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. We'll go to the 4th round. If that receiver that I focus scouted is still available, we'll take a chance on him, and that'll probably be the last pick we make this year. And he's the only day 3 receiver that got taken. That sounds about right. I mean, this guy is a spec catch, so we'll just take a chance on Kenny Boston here. Ranked 213 in true value. Wow, that was a great pick. Let's just get to the end of this draft. This was a weird season. Just losing playoff games that we shouldn't be losing. Players asking for hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, this is just crazy, bro. Like, I mean, realistically, in 4 years, the salary cap will probably have gone up a decent amount, and a lot of quarterbacks will probably be kind of resetting the market. I wonder if quarterbacks will be getting paid like $80 million a year in like 4 and 5 years in the future. But we obviously didn't have a first round pick, but we got a 75 overall safety in the second round. I think that's good value. The CPU got us a 74 overall running back, and we don't have many running backs right now, so he will be our backup, and he has hidden depth, so I think that's actually going to come in helpful for us. So the offense definitely took a little bit of a hit this season, but I think we'll still be fine, honestly. We have Ashton Jeanty, we still have good receivers, and we still have probably the best offensive line in the league, and Lucas is continuing to develop more and more. And we have a 99 overall JJ McCarthy who's getting paid $80 million a year, so we better be able to make it work. We have CJ Jackson, who's X Factor, and he's going to develop like crazy. We have Josh Metellus' replacement for after this season. Our secondary isn't great, but outside of Travarius Ward, everybody's pretty young and developing. Bowman and Benson are both young as well. If they could have a good season, they'll develop like crazy. I once again am going to have to mess with the specialist here just a little bit, and I also need to sign us a kicker and punter, so I'll do that, and then we'll get year 5 underway, and we'll be halfway done with the video. This is going to be a long video, bro. Okay, so why is there a 27-year-old 88 overall receiver just chilling as a free agent? I mean, like, Traylon Burks has been playing good, but should we just pick this guy up? I mean, I don't see why not. For $6 million and 88 overall 27-year-old receiver, I will take that. We haven't had to re-sign any offensive linemen in a while, which means we probably have some contracts coming up. So we're going to set our tier 3 scout to interior offensive line and offensive tackle. You already know what the season goal is going to be. We're going to set it to win that Super Bowl. Year number 5, we're about to enter the halfway point of the video. We need to get at least one Super Bowl this video. Let's get to the midseason and check in on the team. All right, we're only 3-3 at the midseason. This is getting bad. And we have to re-sign Steve White, we have to re-sign Ashton Jeanty, we have to re-sign Roy Lucas, we have to re-sign Christian Darrisaw. Like, we'll start off with Steve White. He's been great for us. We'll re-sign him for 4 years, $78 million. Ashton Jeanty, we definitely need to bring back. He's not interested in the team. We're gonna have to overpay, so we're gonna give him 4 years, $46 million. He resigns as well. Roy Lucas hasn't been developing the way I want him to, but 3 years, 26 is not bad. We'll definitely have to raise it a little bit. I'll give him 3 years, 30. I feel like this is kind of good value, but he does not take it, and I'm not going to overpay for this guy with how easy it is to replace tight ends in this game. I would like Christian Darrisaw back for at least a couple more years. He's also not interested in the team. We'll give him a 2-year, $70 million offer, and he just doesn't want to accept it. Restropro we ended up getting out of free agency, so I'm not too crazy about re-signing him. Ivan Pace is actually going to ask for a lot of money because we currently have him listed as an outside linebacker, so I'm probably going to, at the end of the season, move him back to middle linebacker so I can give him realistic money and then move him back to the outside linebacker position. So we won't be re-signing him here right now. We'll re-sign Doug Davenport. We need to keep these young DBs around if we're able to, so we'll give him 2 years, $11 million, and he wants to re-sign. We'll re-sign Cooper Beebe. We have a good offensive line. We may as well try to keep it together. We'll give him 2 years, $18 million. He's going to return as well. And then we do have a few players here that I would also like to bring back, but right now with our cap situation, I think we should just come back at the end of the season and look at these. With us potentially losing Christian Darrisaw and left tackle being a strength of the class, and with how much draft capital we have coming up, I'm going to set offensive tackle to the focus position, and we're going to go ahead and get to the end of the season. I don't even care to do the focus players. We're just going to get straight to the end of the season, and this could be the first year we miss the playoffs. We're just going to have to see. Maybe we did need to give Justin Jefferson that, whatever it was, $55 million a year contract. Okay, and it looks like we actually did have a strong finish to the season, finishing 11-6, finding ourselves in the playoffs and winning the division. The Bears were 6-0 at the midseason, by the way, and they finished 9-8. Jesus. But we're going to be playing at home against the Falcons. We have the same overall team, but we have a 96 overall offense. JJ McCarthy that just threw for 5,000 passing yards and led the league. Definitely his lowest amount of touchdowns since being the starter, but 34 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, not bad at all, especially when you consider he threw 5,000 yards. Ashton Jeanty just not getting many carries. I wonder if we should consider switching to a run-heavy playbook and letting Jeanty do what he can do, but JJ McCarthy's just been playing so good, I don't think there's a reason to. And he also got 8 touchdowns on the ground. Jordan Addison with his best season so far, 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns. Restropro, this random guy we brought in, got 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. He probably won't be here much longer. Roy Lucas just not putting up the numbers we want to see out of him, 780 yards and 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, same situation. Just feels like our receiver 3 is consistently getting more yards than our receiver 2. Defensively, Ivan Pace leads the team in tackles this year with 113. We got 14 sacks out of Dallas Turner and 16 TFLs. Maybe he'll finally get his dev up and go up to superstar. 7.5 sacks out of Bowman, 6 out of Pryor, 6 out of Benson. We got 2 picks out of CJ Jackson, 1 out of Ivan Pace, and 1 out of Travarius Ward. We got no picks this year. Did we have like the last defense in yards again? We're the number 1 offense in yards. Actually, we had the 14th defense in yards. I will take that after how it's been going recently. Caleb Williams wins MVP this season after going 9-8 and missing the playoffs. We came in 3rd with JJ McCarthy. Offensive player of the year is going to go to Puka again. We came in 2nd place with Jordan Addison. I think he should go go up to X Factor anyways with the season he had. JJ McCarthy at number 6. Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Aiden Hutchinson. We sit at number 5 with Dallas Turner. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to the Lions, and Defensive Rookie of the Year is also going to go to the Lions. If you're ever doing a franchise, by the way, I want you to pay attention to how many yearly awards that your division rival wins. I swear the game makes your division rivals better to make it harder for you. But we have a wild card game against the Falcons. They're sitting at a 90 overall. We're sitting at a 90 overall. We had the number 1 scoring offense and the 19th defense in points allowed. They had a very good defense this season and a pretty mid offense, so pretty even matchup, but we're playing at home. I think we should win this game. Let's sim to the divisional. We're probably going to lose, and we do barely win against the Falcons 31-28, and we have a revenge game against the Cardinals. I did not forget about a couple years ago. 0% chance we lose again. We're a higher overall. Let's sim to the NFC Championship and hope we make it, and we're in the NFC Championship going against the Carolina Panthers, who actually got Justin Jefferson. He's going to have a little bit of a revenge game here. They had the 4th scoring offense and the 3rd defense in points allowed. This is a scary team. They are a higher overall than us. They went 15-2. JJ McCarthy threw for almost 400 yards and 5 passing touchdowns in our playoff win, and Dallas Turner got himself 2 sacks. So that draft class we had last season ended up turning out great here in Madden franchise, but we can't get any Super Bowl appearances out of it. I actually do want to hop in and kind of watch this game, with it being the Justin Jefferson revenge game and us finally making it back to the NFC Championship with our opportunity to make the first Super Bowl. If there is a way that I can hop in and play like a game-winning drive and get us to the Super Bowl, I'll consider doing it. But Bryce Young is still here on the Panthers, leading them to an NFC Championship and a 15-2 record. That's just insane. We're going to start off with the ball here on offense, and we're not able to get anything going on the opening drive, but we do stop the Panthers on their opening offensive drive, and we get down the field and take a 7-0 lead. Panthers get down the field, but it looks like we just got a goal line stand, or no, they actually missed a field goal. So we're going to get the ball back up 7-0, and we turn the ball over, and they tie it 7-7. They're going to get the ball to open the second half, go up 14-7. We're not getting anything going on offense. We need to cook up a good drive here. 2 minutes left, down 7. Are the Vikings able to get down the field? Did we just miss the PAT? So, by the way, we have Brandon Aubrey as our kicker. It won't let me watch it, but Brandon Aubrey just mixed an extra point in the NFC Championship that would have tied it and went into overtime. Wow, that's my bad, I guess, for signing the best kicker in the league, and then he misses an extra point to lose us the game. That's pretty cool. So we don't make the Super Bowl all because of Brandon Aubrey, or I guess we still could have lost in overtime. And with the way that game was going, I feel like we probably would have. But the fact that we didn't even get a chance to go to overtime, because let's go take a look at Brandon Aubrey real quick. Brandon Aubrey has 99 kick power and 99 kick accuracy, is ranked the number 1 kicker in the league. But for whatever reason, because he's on my team in the NFC Championship, he's going to miss an extra point when it's 13-14 with a chance to go to overtime and make the Super Bowl possibly. So shout out Brandon Aubrey. I mean, that's just great, dude. We're never going to make the Super Bowl in this video. And the Panthers go on to lose the Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson finally gets a ring and gets himself a Super Bowl MVP as well. Let's take a look at the roster. I really am hoping that Dallas Turner finally got his dev up and went up to superstar after another good year. So Jordan Addison does go up to X Factor like I expected. We have a very great receiving core, but we're definitely going to let go of Rester Pro after this year. Lucas still not developing the way I would like him to, but he's sitting at an 85 overall with morale right now, so I'll definitely take that. I don't know if we're going to re-sign him though. And Dallas Turner is now superstar, so that's super helpful. So let's hop into these re-signings, see who we need to let go, see who we need to bring back. This is getting really frustrating. Like, my 99 kick power, 99 kick accuracy kicker just missed an extra point to keep us from going to the Super Bowl. Roy Lucas, not interested. 84 overall. I'm not going to overpay for him. I think we're going to try to replace Christian Darrisaw in this year's draft because he's also not interested. Like, we are coming off an NFC Championship appearance, and our 3 best players that are free agents aren't interested in the team. Like, I just don't understand. Same with Ivan Pace, but I'm going to go ahead and make him a middle linebacker so that it doesn't cost so much money. I feel like Madden really should make it to where instead of being like considered a middle linebacker or an outside linebacker, you're just considered like a linebacker or an edge rusher, because the fact that it can't process the fact that Ivan Pace is an off-ball linebacker, so I'm having to pay him edge rusher money, is just pretty embarrassing from a billion-dollar company. Like, look how much cheaper this deal is. So we're going to give him a 3-year, $36 million deal, which he does accept. And then we're not going to pick up the 5th year for John Barnett. He's not doing much for us right now. Pryor is a starter and is playing pretty good for us, and he's interested in the team, so we'll give him a 2-year, $23 million offer, which he accepts. And I think we're going to let Guzman go. We have a lot of D tackles right now. Jordan Ollie, I mean, he's been playing some sub linebacker for us, but there's just not much of a point in bringing him back. However, he does only want like $3 million a year, so all right, he doesn't accept anyway, that's fine. Will Fries, I do want to bring back. Our offensive line is very good. I'd like to keep it that way, so we're going to give him 1 year, $6.5 million, which he accepts, and then that'll probably be the last re-signing we make. Josh Metellus isn't interested, is regressing, and we drafted his replacement last year. Charvarius Ward will probably let go. I'm hoping there will be a really good corner in this year's free agency. So let's go ahead, take a look at free agency. You know who I know I'm not bringing back is this motherfucker right here, Brandon Aubrey. Oh my goodness. I just had to sign a Cowboys player, right? Anyways, let's hop into free agency. I'm really hoping there can be like a sick lockdown #1 corner here I can take. Let's just take a look here. Josh Allen is once again a free agent. There is a pretty good tight end, Colston Loveland, that we can maybe get to replace our hole that we have there now. I'll consider that if there's not a good corner somewhere. So we're going to bring on Tucker Kraft to be our new starting tight end, and then we're just going to try to bring back Charvarius Ward. He's asking for like no money, and there's really not a good DB this year. So we'll bring back Charvarius Ward. He's been very loyal to us, so I f with that. We're going to get both players. I still might take a corner in this year's draft if there's a good one available, but I do know our first round pick will definitely be used on an offensive tackle after losing Darisaw. Just like, God forbid our good players are interested in playing for the team. Like, I just don't understand what goes into like the Madden, I don't know, like coding that makes players uninterested, but it's just so stupid. But let's go ahead and see how good these offensive tackles are. So the best left tackle is going to be around 1 to 2 talent. These are all going to look a little iffy because left and right tackles are just never as high of an overall in draft classes as the other positions. So around 1 to 2 talent left tackle, although it doesn't look like it's worth a top 5 pick, he's gonna be the best tackle in the draft class by a very big margin. And then there's a couple around 2 to 3 talent guys. My only concern is Ryan Lindsley is projected to go in the top 5. And although we have 2 first-round picks, I really don't know where our other pick is and what we're gonna have to give up to get up there. So we're gonna be picking at 21 and 29 this year, and there will be a couple round 2 to 3 tackles that'll fall to our late first round picks, and Ryan Lindsay's projected to go #1, and I'm just not going to trade up for the #1 overall pick whenever I can use all these draft picks we have this year to address the needs we have on the roster now. So I also wouldn't hate trading our later first round pick maybe for a player, but we have a massive hole at left tackle. Other than that, the offense is great. And then, I mean, I really want to get a lockdown corner, but our young corners are slowly developing into lockdown corners. So unless there's just an insane corner that somehow falls, which is going to be hard to tell because I don't think I set focus players this year. I don't know. We're just going to stick and pick with our first, and then maybe we use our second first to get like an old corner that I know will be very good. But first things first, let's find us a new offensive tackle. And I think the play is going to be George Farley. He's 21 out of Louisville. Great strength, a great excel. B run block, A pass block power, B run block power. He looks pretty good. He's going to be a day 1 starter, so he better be. And let's hope he has a dev trait. Rating 62 in true value. That's about what I expected, but he has hidden dev and 90 strength. So that is exactly what we were looking for in an offensive tackle. And we have our extra first round pick that we traded for last year, or this is actually our pick, but I wonder what corner we could get with the 29th overall pick. I'll probably go for somebody who's just like older but has X factor and I know will play good, like especially if I could steal like a Jalen Johnson from the Bears. I think that might end up being the play actually. However, I don't think a 31-year-old Jalen Johnson is worth a first round pick, so I'm going to try to see if I can get us some extra capital for next year on top of it. They do not want to give us extra capital on top of it. So we're going to be giving up the 29th overall pick, our 4th round pick from 2031, and our 6th round pick from 2032, and we're going to get Jalen Johnson to be our cornerback 1 on this team. I actually think that's a good trade. We took him from a division rival. We didn't give up that much. We already used our other first round pick. I think that's actually going to help us out, especially for this season. I wouldn't hate going offensive line again. Gary Schwartz is only 21 years old out of Ohio State. Not the craziest physicals, but he has A awareness, A pass block, and A pass block finesse. Having good offensive linemen that'll get rotated in is never a bad thing. And he was a round 1 talent, ranked 18 in true value with hidden dev. I definitely don't hate that pick. And now in the future, when we end up losing offensive linemen, we'll be all right because Will Fries isn't going to be here much longer. I know I said we had a lot of D tackles earlier, but John McKinney is a power rusher, 6'4", 22 years old out of LSU. Really good physicals, honestly. Block shedding's a little low, but B finesse moves and A power moves. I think this guy could be very good if we end up having to use him as a starter. So we'll take John McKinney here in the 2nd round as well. Another round 1 talent, another hidden dev. We've actually been drafting very good this video. It's just hard for your draft picks to matter that much whenever your roster is so good that, you know, it's hard to get them going as a rookie. But we have an early 3rd round pick here as well. I think we're going to go ahead and get us another linebacker here in the 3rd round. This guy's 23 years old out of Texas, elite jumping, great speed, B zone coverage, B tackle, B play rec, A hit power, B block shedding. Another player that might not be a starter right now, but he could come in handy later. Another 1st round talent and another hidden dev. I think the only player that we've drafted that wasn't considered a round 1 talent was the left tackle that we took. And as I said earlier, they're just never as high of an overall overall as the rest of the players in the draft class. Let's see, there's like basically no draftable receivers. I wanted to get a safety, but there's no draftable safeties either. So we'll go Carl Rudolph here, get another offensive lineman, ranked 44 in true value, another good pick, and another hidden dev. So we'll go ahead, hand the rest of the draft over to the CPU. I feel like every draft we've had has been very good. It's just our team is so good that our rookies don't really see the field, and then we just end up losing games because Brandon Aubrey, the best kicker in the league, misses a PAT to let the game go to overtime to get to the Super Bowl. But yeah, once again, definitely another very successful draft. We got Jalen Johnson as well with one of our first round picks. We got a 73 overall left tackle who's going to be a starter. We got another offensive lineman, a 75 overall guard, 75 overall D tackle, 75 overall middle linebacker, a 74 overall center. The CPU got us a 71 overall receiver, which is great. He does not have a dev trait, but I'll definitely take another 70 overall that the CPU was able to pick up. They also got us another 70 overall receiver and a 70 overall fullback. Hey, I will definitely take it. I mean, we are drafting very good this video. So let's just get ready for year 6. I just want to win one Super Bowl, bro. So here's how the roster is going to be looking for year 6. We're officially halfway done with the video. We added a lot of depth to the offensive line. We're also going to have a starting rookie left tackle. Jordan Addison's up to a 96 overall X Factor. We still got Devontae Smith. Traylon Burks is still hanging around as well. I'll go ahead and make Harris like the 4th overall receiver, so maybe he gets like a little bit of reps at least. I guess that super late receiver that they took, that was a 70 overall at hidden dev, I will definitely take that. But the offense looks pretty good. I hope Farley will have a good rookie year, because if he does, I think we'll be very good this season. And then defensively, I think we got a lot better with the addition of Jalen Johnson. We have a lockdown #1 corner. Williams is up to an 88 overall. Matthews, this will be his first year as a starter. We need him to develop a little bit. But we added Sullivan to the linebacker group. We still got Ivan Pace and CJ Jackson. The defensive line looks great. We just need our defense to finally have like an insanely good year, and I think we'll be fine. We signed Cam Little instead of Brandon Aubrey, so hopefully if we need an extra point to be made to go to overtime in the NFC Championship, we'll be fine this year. I don't know when our right tackle's contract is supposed to come up, so I'm probably going to leave our scouts the same as they were this season. I like having the offensive line scouts. That's always helpful. Season goal is obviously going to be to win the Super Bowl. We're sitting at an 89 overall before the season has even started, and we got all the morale and progression we're going to get this season. So let's get to the midseason. I'm hoping we can have a very good record at the midseason. We haven't gotten the 1 seed a single time this video, and we also haven't made the Super Bowl one time this video. So I just need it to happen one time. Let's get year 6 underway. And that is exactly what I am trying to see. We are 7-0 at the midseason. Let's go. Let's see what players we have to re-sign this midseason. We have 20 million, so hopefully not anybody too crazy. We need to re-sign Tyron Williams. I don't know if we'll bring back Jalen Johnson for another year, because I don't think we'll be able to afford it. We're probably going to lose Brent Russell, so I'm glad I scouted offensive linemen again. John Barnett's kind of just being rotated in on the D-line. Eric Beatles isn't even really playing sub-linebacker for us. Will Fries is another player we can replace in the draft, and we also got a guard last year that could replace him. So I think first priority, we just bring back Tyron Williams, and then we come back at the end of the season and look at the rest. So we'll give Tyron Williams 3 years, $39 million, and he resigns. I think that's really the only super important player from here. I would like to have Jalen Johnson back for another year. We'll consider bringing him back at the end of the season, but we mainly brought him in so we can just have one lockdown quarter and hopefully win the Super Bowl this year. But yeah, with us supposed to be losing another offensive tackle and right tackle being a strength of the class, offensive tackle is going to be the focus position for this season. Thank God we drafted all those offensive linemen last year. Let's go ahead and get to the end of year number 6. We are sitting at 7-0 currently. I don't even care if we go undefeated. I just want the 1 seed, and I just want to at least make the Super Bowl. I'll see you guys at the end of the season. I don't even care into week 13 to set the focus players. It's just too much work. I've been recording for 2.5 hours. And we finished this season 14-3, and unfortunately did not get ourselves the 1 seed. The Arizona Cardinals going 15-2, bro. Screw the Cardinals. JJ McCarthy was 7th in the league in passing yards this year with 4,400. He threw 41 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He continues to ball every year. Ashton Jeanty, again, we're just not running a very run-heavy offense, but JJ McCarthy's just balling too much. But 950 yards and 10 touchdowns out of Jeanty this year. Jordan Addison with 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. Traylon Burks with another 1,000-yard season, 8 touchdowns. The fact that we have continued to put up good numbers with Traylon Burks and he hasn't gone up to star dev is actually mind-boggling. So this was the year we signed that random free agent and moved Traylon Burks down in the depth chart. But in 2026, 1,000 yards in 2027, 1,000 yards in 2028, and he got 1,000 yards this year as well. We turned Traylon Burks into the receiver that the Titans thought he would be. Devontae Smith with a pretty quiet season, 840 yards, 6 touchdowns. Maybe next year I need to just move my second best receiver to the receiver 3 because the receiver 3 is getting more targets every time. Defensively, Ivan Pace leads the team in tackles this year with 124. We got 13 sacks out of Dallas Turner and 10 TFLs. Pryor with 11 sacks and 25 TFLs. He's still normal dev, so if he could go up to at least star, that would be great. 10.5 sacks out of Benson as well. 3 picks out of Jalen Johnson, 2 out of Davenport, 2 out of Williams, and 1 out of Pace, and 1 out of Kemp. MVP this season is going to go to Steven Watson. I guess this is the new quarterback for the Saints. We're down here at number 7 with JJ McCarthy. Offensive Player of the Year is going to go to Justin Jefferson, now on the Panthers. That just makes me so sad to see. Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Jack Sawyer for the Eagles. We came in number 5 with Deion Pryor, so even though we didn't win it, with him only being normal dev, I do think he could go up to star dev here. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Tracy Claxton for the Panthers. Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Chad Watkins for the Giants. We're going against the Commanders here in the wild card. We're a higher overall team. We won 4 more games this season. We're playing at home. We had the 6th scoring offense and the 7th defense and points allowed. We were better than them in almost every category this season, so there's genuinely no reason we should lose this game. Let's get to the divisional. Can we please just make a Super Bowl run this year? All right, and we beat the Commanders by 17. We're going against the 14-3 Dallas Cowboys here. They had a slightly better offense than us. We had a slightly better defense. I think this is a pretty good matchup, but we are a higher overall, and we are still playing at home. Another game that I personally think we should win. Let's send to the NFC Championship. Can we please beat Dallas? 7-6. With the number 6 scoring defense in the league, we dropped 6 points against Dallas. Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. We're really out here letting the Jets make a Super Bowl before we do. Like, what is going on? How have we not made 1 with how good of a roster we have? We have negative $4 million, by the way, so that's not going to help. But that rookie receiver from last year is actually superstar. Apparently, anybody who's in Traylon Burks' position is just going to put up crazy numbers, so maybe we let Harris be a starter next year and move on from Traylon Burks, because he's not going to go up in dev trait. Pryor did go up to star, so that's actually really big. We're going to lose Jalen Johnson, but that's fine, honestly. I mean, Kemp is an 89, Davenport's an 86. Travarius Ward finally did retire, so we'll have to find a replacement for him. We have a lot of linebackers, but can never have too many, right? This team is so good. Like, this is actually really frustrating how we haven't made a single Super Bowl. But we have negative $4 million, so we're not going to be able to re-sign any players that we need to right now. But entering free agency, we have $23 million, and with us losing Jalen Johnson, we need to try to find a corner here. Josh Allen's a free agent once again, so is Mahomes. There is a good offensive tackle here that we literally just can't afford. Jalen Johnson has 6 offers. I think with how our corners are progressing, getting somebody like Jaleel Harbor instead, and just having like 3 87 to 89 overall corners might be best case scenario for us. So we're going to go with Jaleel Harbor in free agency, and then we're just going to try to adjust the offensive line in the draft this year. So that's going to make our corner group very good. We won't have like 1 stud guy, but we'll have 3 pretty damn good corners. And Josh Allen just went to the Browns. That might be the worst decision ever. And Patrick Mahomes is a giant. What is going on? So in this year's draft, we definitely need a guard. So Schwartz, the guard that we drafted last year, actually a superstar. So we don't need to worry about drafting a guard this season. First priority is just going to be getting a tackle so that Langham doesn't have to be a starter. But our receiving core looks good. Harris is going to start developing pretty well, and he's going to be the number 3 receiver. So he's probably just going to get 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Maybe we go with a different playbook this year. Like, we just keep having insane regular seasons, and we have Ashton Jeanty, who's just not being used that much. Like, maybe we go like the Packers playbook and try to see what happens. Couldn't hurt to do it for like 1 year, right? And then honestly, I don't think we need to draft anything for the defensive side of the ball this year. We have good safeties, we have great linebackers, we have a very good D-line, and we have 3 good corners. So number 1 priority is getting an offensive tackle, and then I don't even know what we're gonna do after that. Maybe we just try to move our picks for more next season again, because I mean, we literally just need a tackle and that's it. Picking at 26 this year, let's see what tackle falls to us, because it's gonna be our first pick, even if I have to reach on one. Oh God, the best tackle available is around 3 to 4 talent. Like I said, they're just normally low overalls. I think we got to take a chance on this guy anyways. He doesn't look crazy. I mean, there's another round 3 to... Ooh, there's a round 2 to 3 talent. I didn't even notice this. Yeah, I was going to trade back and take one of those guys, but there's a round 2 to 3 talent. I'm not going to wait on this guy. His elite strength looks a lot better than the other guy we're looking at. This is who we're going to be taking. Ross Tillman, 57 in true value, but this is what we care about right here, the dev trait. That's perfect. I'm thinking this second round pick, we're going to try to trade and get some more capital for next year, because I can't really think of many needs we have for the team right now. So we're going to take the Rams offer here and take their second round pick for next year, and we'll get a 7th rounder for this year as well. Maybe the CPU can do something with it. I might do the same thing with our 3rd rounder. This is kind of cheese, but I just genuinely can't think of what to draft right now, and there's a good chance next season that we actually will need positions that we'll need to draft for, and I'm just not sure whose contract is coming up. And we'll go ahead and take the Falcons offer here. They're offering us their 3rd for next year. We'll get 2 6th and a 7th as well. And then I'll hand the rest of this draft over to the CPU. We got the offensive tackle we needed. I think that was priority number 1. We built some extra capital for next season, and the roster is so good. Like, we just need to make 1 Super Bowl. We're going to try out an offensive playbook change this year. The defense finally, now that everybody's developed, played pretty damn good last season, so I don't think we need to mess with the offensive or the defensive playbook at all. We're going to try a different offensive playbook, try to get GT going, and we'll see what happens, I guess. So the roster basically looks the exact same that it looked last season, except now we have a new starting offensive tackle, and then same with the defense, obviously, as well. We once again need a kicker and a punter, so I'll do that real quick, and then yeah, we'll get this season underway. Ready to get year number 7 underway. Season goal is going to be the same every time. I don't care. And then we're bound to lose our receivers eventually. I also don't know when Tucker Kraft's contract is coming up. I think there's like a wide receiver tight end scout, I would imagine. So Johnny Rose is going to be our tier 3 scout for this season. Let's just get to the midseason of year number 7. We were 7-0 last midseason, and it still wasn't enough to get the 1 seed. So who even cares what our record is? Let's just hope we're doing good. We changed the playbook. Hopefully GT is just going crazy. All right, we're 4-3 at this midseason. We do have the number 1 rushing offense as of right now, so we'll just stick with this playbook, and we'll see who we need to re-sign right here. We have 43 million. We need to bring back CJ Jackson. We need to bring back Bowman. We need to bring back Benson. We need to bring back Kemp. Oh boy. You know, I thought receivers was going to end up being the problem, and it's just everybody on the defense. Or Devontae Smith is here as well. Wow, I think we're going to have to choose what our priority is going to be here. I like CJ Jackson, but outside of him, our linebackers are good. I think Deshaun Bowman is going to be my number 1 priority here. He's interested in the team. We'll try to give him a 3-year, $44 million deal, which he does accept. And then Gerald Benson, like, we just can't afford to be losing a pass rusher right now either. So we're going to give him a 4-year, $94 million deal. And that leaves us only $7 million to work with. So we'll come back at the end of the season, see if maybe we can work some sort of magic. I doubt it. But it's another situation where we're about to lose a lot of players, so we better make a Super Bowl push this year. We're going to set receiver as a focus scouting position because we're probably going to be losing Devontae Smith here this season. And let's just go ahead. Let's get to the end of the season. We go 12-5 this season. It's once again not enough to get the 1 seed. We do win the division, and the Dallas Cowboys also went 12-5. They just happened to beat us out for the 1 seed. Let's take a look at how the stats were now that we changed the playbook. I saw that Ashton Jeanty was the leading rusher, and JJ McCarthy was still top 10 in passing yards with 4,400, 31 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's great. Ashton Jeanty with a 1,300 yard, 17 touchdown season. I will definitely take that. I mean, we're basically the same level of talent that we were with the other playbook, so who really cares? Jordan Addison with 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns. Jesus Christ. 900 yards out of Devontae Smith with 3 touchdowns. 800 yards out of Amari Harris, 5 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft was decent. Defensively, Ivan Pace leads our team in tackles with only 83. Dallas Turner with 17 sacks, 11 TFLs, 12 sacks out of Benson, 10 out of Bowman. We got 2 picks out of Davenport and 1 out of Jalil Harbor. We did not do much on defense this year. MVP is going to go to Anthony Richardson. Wow. We're in 6th with JJ McCarthy. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Jordan Addison. That's awesome. We came in 6th with JJ McCarthy. No Ashton Jeanty anywhere. That's crazy. Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Ronnie Gordon for the Panthers. We came in 5th with Dallas Turner. And we're not going to win Offensive or Defensive Rookie of the Year because we barely drafted last year. And the only player who played for us that we did draft was an offensive lineman. So going against the Cardinals, they've been pissing me off all video. We're playing at home. We had a better record. They have a higher overall team. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's just send to the divisional. I don't even care anymore. We win 35-27 against the Cardinals. We're playing against the Giants here, who I believe have Patrick Mahomes. We'll be playing at home. They were only 10-7. We're a higher overall team. Another game we should win. Let's send to the NFC Championship, see what happens. All right, we're back in the NFC Championship. We're going against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I hopped in and was watching the game. We were down by 6 with like 2 minutes left. I hopped in to play the game-winning drive, and I threw an interception, and I don't think it's fair that we lose this NFC Championship game because of me. So at least if we lose to the Dallas Cowboys now, it was deserved, but I don't think it's fair that I was the one who hopped in and threw the game-losing interception. So we're going to let the CPU decide. We're going to send to the Super Bowl. Can we please just make 1 Super Bowl appearance, please, bro? Oh my God. Can't do it anymore. We only have 3 years left, and we have yet to make a single Super Bowl, bro. Like, I can't take this anymore. And the Cowboys went on to just lose the Super Bowl to the Bills. Cool. I mean, this team is so good. The fact that we haven't made 1 Super Bowl is actually just so stupid, bro. GT's up to a 99 overall X Factor. McCarthy's still a 99 X Factor. Addison's a 99 X Factor. We're gonna lose a lot of players this offseason. We have a lot of draft picks, though, to try to make it work out. I mean, I can only do so much. I can only make the team so good. Like, we have 2 million, so basically everybody that's here we're going to be losing, and the team is about to get a lot worse. Maybe a little bit of money will free up here when we send to free agency, and we'll be able to get like 1 player. I don't know. Josh Allen's not going back to the Browns. He's going to be a free agent once again. We have 20 million. I mean, we could probably sign like a player. Can't tell. I'm starting to get a little bit discouraged. I mean, the offense for the most part looks pretty good. We could probably use 1 more receiver. I feel like we could probably get one in the draft. We still have Sullivan at linebacker, so I don't think linebacker is that big of a liability after losing CJ, whatever his name was. We're definitely going to need a corner. This is sad, man. I guess let's just see who's available level in free agency, see if we can try to just fill out some holes. Like Xavier Worthy would be great, but why would anybody be interested in playing for the team that just went to the NFC Championship? Like, literally look at all the top players. We don't have a single player interested, and we just went to the NFC Championship. We could bring back Deion Pryor, I guess, but I just feel like D-tackle, even without him, is looking okay. Like, Deion Pryor would be sick to bring back, but I just feel like corner and receiver is just too much of a need. So basically, we're just going to bring in an old, washed-up Jerry Jeudy to just kind of try to be a Band-Aid for receiver for right now. And then we'll bring in a 25-year-old Cliff Hill to play corner for us. I don't remember if we drafted this guy or not, honestly. We probably didn't, but I don't know. Not the craziest free agency, but it'd be nice to hold on to some money so that we can just stop losing all of our players. So we'll hop into the draft here. We have a lot of picks to work with. It's just going to come down to what these prospects are looking like, I guess. We did scout receivers, so we could probably get a pretty good one in the first round, and then there's always a lot of good corners, but only got 3 years left. We have yet to even make a Super Bowl, and the team is reaching a point where it's only getting worse now. So I feel like with our starting tight end being a 76 overall, we definitely don't need to, like, reach for one. I wouldn't hate taking a receiver because Jerry Jeudy's only going to be here for this season. Even though our receiving core is pretty good, I would like to bring one in during the draft. And then maybe we use, like, our first-round pick on a corner, and then in the second round, we can also... Where did this guy come from? I don't know if I drafted this guy or the CPU did, but he has X Factor. So I guess we're good on linebacker. I think first round we go corner because I feel like that's more of a need right now, and we'll know all the talent of the receivers. And then second round, we probably go receiver, I guess. I just want to punch myself in the head over and over and over. Yeah, so there's a round 1 talent projected to go late in the first round, a round 1 to 2 talent projected to go round 2 to 3, round 1 to 2 projected to go 2 to 3. There's some pretty good receivers that we could take later down the board that I think we could develop pretty easily. So I think in this first round, we're probably just going to go corner. So sick of just losing in the NFC Championship, losing in the divisional. Like, I don't think we've missed the playoffs one time this entire video. Just keep losing in the playoffs. Like, I hate my life with a passion. There's an A man coverage corner still on the board, only 22 years old out of Georgia with elite change of direction, elite excel, great speed. Let's go ahead and take him. He'll definitely end up being a starter most likely. Ranked 7 in true value. That was a damn good pick. Hidden dev, 94 speed, 95 excel at 6'3", 200 pounds. I really like that pick actually. If he could have superstar X Factor, you know how helpful that would be. We have an extra second here early in the second round, so we'll definitely use this to go out and try to get a receiver. And we'll go ahead and go with Ezekiel Hills, 21 years old out of Michigan State, elite jumping, elite strength, A spec catch, A catch in traffic. This is definitely a like a get Hills down there somewhere kind of guy. So we're going to go ahead and draft him here, ranked 23 in true value. And why would he have a dev trait? Like, genuinely, just like, why would he have a dev trait? Like, I just don't know why he would. Like, I don't know why I would expect him to. And then we don't really need a tight end, but there is actually a very good tight end available right now. A run block, B deep route, A catch in traffic, B stamina, A to B awareness, B impact blocking. He's a little good at everything. So let's just go ahead and take Zach Lange here. Only ranked 76 in true value, but he does have a dev trait. I'll consider starting him. I mean, maybe try to get him going as a rookie. I don't really know. I don't even know what to draft anymore, man. Cassius Brown is going to be a speed rusher, 22 years old out of Washington State. He doesn't look crazy, but B finesse moves, B awareness. I'm just going to go ahead and take a chance on him. He looks like one of the better players available. Even though he's ranked 147 in true value, I don't know anything. CPU can have the late third rounder. I'm sick of drafting. I just want to win a Super Bowl, man. I got sweaty booty syndrome right now. Anyways, the corner we got in the first round is a 79 overall. I think this guy could end up being like a generational talent and having X Factor and being our #1 corner for probably the rest of the video. Got a 75 overall receiver in the second round who has normal dev because of course he does. Got a pretty good tight end. CPU got us a pretty good linebacker and a pretty good corner as well. So we definitely addressed our needs pretty decently in that draft. I don't think the receiver we drafted is going to end up being a starter because he has normal dev and just wasn't a crazy overall. If he had a dev trait, I would like just put him as a starter anyway, but he doesn't. So I will make Hills like the 4th receiver in the depth chart, so maybe he gets rotated in a little bit, and then we'll make Lange the backup tight end. I don't know why he looks like that, but that's whatever, I guess. I mean, the offense still looks really good. Like, the offense has continued to look good the entire video. And then the linebackers look weak because I don't have these guys listed as outside linebackers, so I don't have to pay them a bunch of money. But we have 3 pretty decent linebackers, 2 pretty damn good safeties. We added a really good corner who's already an 80 overall as a rookie. So the defense honestly doesn't look bad either. We once again need a kicker and a punter, so I'll make sure to work on that. Well, we're ready to pretty much go ahead and hop into year number 8. Maybe if I just set the season goal to make the playoffs instead, we'll finally win the Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm kind of just reaching, and whatever could work at this point, right? We'll just go receiver corner as the scouts this year because that's always the best positions in the draft, and I don't really know whose contracts are coming up or anything like that. And we're going to need a receiver because Jerry Jeudy is a starting receiver for us currently. But I don't think we'll need a corner as bad next season because that guy we drafted looks like he could potentially have X factor. Let's just get to the midseason. I don't even know what's going to happen anymore. We are 5-2 at the midseason. We were 5-0 before losing to 2 division rivals. So I'm sure we're going to lose to the Bears here and then lose to the Lions again to go to 5-4. So who knows? Let's just look at these re-signings real quick. We got $57 million to bring back Jordan Addison, Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner is probably going to be my #1 priority here. We're going to give him 3 years, $80 million, which he accepts. And I'd obviously like to have Jordan Addison back, but at least he's not going for like a Justin Jefferson contract. Like it was a 2 overall difference. They were the same age, and this guy's asking for like 30 less million. We'll give Jordan Addison 4 years, $136 million. He resigns, and then it's looking like we're going to lose all of these players this season, which is just great, man. Let's just get to the end of the season. I mean, I just want to make one Super Bowl, like just one. I just want to make one Super Bowl. Please, just give me the 1 seed or something. Make my life a little bit easier, bro. Oh, my goodness. We got the 1 seed. Oh, my God. We got the 1 seed. We might actually have a chance this year. J.J. McCarthy was 3rd in the league in passing yards with just over 4,500, 38 touchdowns to 10 picks. Ashton Jeanty with just under 1,200 yards, average over 4 per carry, and got 9 touchdowns. Jordan Addison with a 1,500-yard, 11-touchdown season. Jerry Jeudy got 1,112 touchdowns. Amari Harris is starting to develop more and more, almost 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns for him. Defensively, Ivan Pace leads our team in tackles and 22.5 sacks out of Dallas Turner and ties the sack record. 10 out of Gerald Benson. We got 3 picks out of Jalil Harbor, 2 out of Sharif Dixon. I mean, he had a pretty good rookie season. 87 tackles, 5 TFLs, a sack, and 2 picks. This could be Rookie of the Year. And then we had 1 out of Will Caddett as well. We'll check the awards just real quick. MVP is going to go to Rich Bush, whoever that is. We do win Coach of the Year with Kevin O'Connell. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Puka. Defensive Player of the Year does go to Dallas Turner. That's pretty big. He'll be an X factor, and we just re-signed him. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Rick Boyles for the Giants. Did we win Defensive Rookie of the Year? No, we came in second, because why wouldn't we? He might have X Factor anyways, so it's all right. Let's see who we're taking on in the divisional round. We finally got the 1 seed. There is a chance. There is a chance. Oh, God, not the Cardinals. Okay, so we had the 2nd offense in points this year. We had the 3rd passing offense and the 2nd rushing offense. We had a good rushing defense. Outside of that, our defense was terrible. But look how terrible this Cardinals defense is. 30th in points allowed, 32nd in pass yards allowed, and 13 in rush yards allowed. If J.J. McCarthy doesn't throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns here and we don't win the game, I don't think I can do another season. So we better beat the Cardinals. That's all I got to say. We beat the Cardinals. We're in the NFC Championship once again, going against the Eagles, who had the 20th scoring offense and the 30th scoring defense and somehow went 10-7. This is definitely a game I think we should win, but God forbid we make a Super Bowl, right? So we're probably going to lose. Oh, my God. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore, bro. I can't. I can't. We lost by 14. We let them score 45 on us. They had the 20th scoring offense in the league, and we only scored 35 against their shitty-ass defense with how good our offense was. We are better than these teams that we are playing. The game just doesn't want us to win a Super Bowl. I'm starting to get so tired of this, bro. Anyways, I mean, no dev-ups on offense, but our offense is just too good to get upgraded at this point. Dallas Turner doesn't get X Factor for winning Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry, what? You can cry about it if you want. I'm giving him X Factor. I don't know. We're about to lose a bunch of players once again because we can't afford to re-sign anybody. We just had to give J.J. McCarthy $80 million a year all those years ago. I mean, how many NFC championships have we made and lost? Like, can we just make one Super Bowl? Just one. We have 2 years left. We have yet to miss the playoffs. We've probably made like 4 or 5 NFC championships, and we have not appeared in one Super Bowl. We have negative $6 million. That's just great, man. Got $11 million in free agency that I'm probably not even going to spend. Like, who are we going to be able to get with $11 million? I mean, we could probably use to draft one more receiver this year. Other than that, the offense is still fine. We lost Ivan Pace, unfortunately. I mean, maybe we go for him in free agency because, I mean, other than that, I think our defense is pretty good. Yeah, I guess let's just bring back Ivan Pace and then try to get a receiver in the draft this year. I doubt we'll be able to afford Ivan Pace, though. Oh, and of course he's not interested in the team because why would he be? You know, the team that's made the playoffs every year with him on the roster. Why would he want to play for them? We are his top offer, so he should sign with us. Cool. If he wouldn't have signed with us, I might have ended the video right there. Got 2 years left to win a Super Bowl. I mean, at this rate, we're probably just going to make the NFC Championship both years and not make the playoffs. That was not a sentence. Not make the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, is J.J. McCarthy just going to go down as the biggest playoff choker in NFL history? I mean, that's basically what's happening here. I tried changing the playbook, and it was just the same exact result, so that's cool. It also doesn't help we have the 21st defense and points allowed per game with an 89 overall defense, and they allowed 45 in the NFC Championship, so that definitely didn't help. We need to go out and get a stud receiver this year, though. Funny is the receivers that are projected to go early this year are the ones that suck. So I'll probably end up taking like a Joe Cordova or something like that, and then I have no idea what I'll do with my next picks. I mean, I might try to cheese this use our first round pick on the receiver and just trade every pick back for more picks next year. And then next year, use all those picks and just trade for a bunch of players, make the team unstoppable, and just try to find a way to make a Super Bowl, I guess. Like, but yeah, Joe Cordova is going to be the pick here. A, catching traffic, great speed, great strength, A, spec catch, A, break tackle, B, awareness, A, run blocking. Probably just going to have normal dev and be nothing for the team, but, you know, that's what I'm expecting, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to start cheesing. I'm just going to trade all these picks back for more picks for next year, and then we'll use those picks next year to trade for some players and hopefully make this team better. Well, here's the roster. It basically looks the exact same, except the receiving core is worse because, God forbid, we draft a good receiver that ends up with a dev tray, right? And then defensively, we look pretty good as well. We still got Ivan Pace around. We got Dallas Turner's up to X Factor now. The defense looks pretty good. I'm just going to trust the CPU to go get us a kicker and a punter. I don't feel like doing that. We're going to get straight to the end of the season here. I'm done, man. I'm done. Let's just see if we make the playoffs, I guess. I mean, even if we do, we're probably not going to make the Super Bowl. We got 2 years left. If we don't make the Super Bowl and win it this year, I'm just going to go all out next season, trade every draft pick to our name, make this team a God squad and unstoppable, restructure every contract. It completely ruins the team's future just for one Super Bowl, because that's what it's going to take at this point. But we go 14-3, find ourselves as the 1 seed again. Our defense at least wasn't in like the bottom 10 this season. JJ McCarthy with another great year, 4,400 yards, 43 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Ashton Jeanty, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Jordan Addison, 1,300 yards, 20 touchdowns. Amari Harris with 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Barber with 960 yards and 10 touchdowns. Defensively, Ivan Pace leads the team in tackles with 98. We got 13 sacks out of Dallas Turner, 12.5 out of McKinney, 12 out of Gerald Benson. We got 5 picks out of Jalil Harbor, 2 out of Dixon, 1 out of Hill, and 1 out of Sears. Pat Mahomes wins MVP on the Broncos. That's just so ugly. We win another Coach of the Year. We win Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year went to Aiden Hutchinson. We obviously didn't win Offensive or Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's see who we're taking on in the divisional. I don't even think it's going to matter who it is. We're probably just going to lose. Taking on the 9-8 Lions. They actually are somehow higher overall than us, going only 9-8, but we're playing at home. I mean, we won 5 more games than this year. Like, who knows what's gonna happen, man? Yeah, we lost. Cool. Like, we just lose in the playoffs every year. Like, ugh. I might just force win our way into a Super Bowl this last year just to make myself feel happy, man. Like, we have been such a good team year in, year out, and we just can't make a Super Bowl, bro. The Giants, by the way, just won a Super Bowl before we did. Not even win the Super Bowl. Made it to a Super Bowl. We haven't made it to a single Super Bowl. At least we have money to bring back our players this year, I guess. We'll bring back Steve White. We'll bring back Gary Schwartz. Or he's just going to test out free agency, even though he's interested and I gave him the offer he wanted. $24 million tag. Lick my balls, bro. We'll bring back Tyron Williams. Oh, my God. They're all interested, and they just don't accept the offer. We'll give Devin Sullivan 4 years, 42. He accepts. George Farley is not interested in the team. You know, why would he be? Because we just can't. We're never going to win a Super Bowl. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to play here anymore either. I'm starting to get it. 4 years, $124 million for him, and he's going to resign. Amari Harris, we'll give him 2 years, $15 million. He's going to resign. Ashton Jeanty, we'll lob him 3 years, $31 million. He resigns as well. Jalil Harbor, we can barely afford, but we'll give him 1 year, $12.5 million. He's going to resign, and then we'll pick up the 5th year for Ross Tillman, I guess. It's the last year anyway. We're going to lose John McKinney. We're going to lose Taylor Graham. We're going to lose Carl Rudolph. It's whatever. Before free agency here, I'm going to restructure every single contract we can, and we're going to bring in every free agent possible. Well, I restructured every contract possible. Didn't even free up that much money. We have $44 million, and we lost a decent amount of players. So we need some offensive linemen. We need a 3rd receiver. We need a D tackle, and we need a safety. So I think we're just going to fill them out with all decent players, and then draft day is when we're going to bring in the studs. Or do we just sign this guy? Is that what we do? And then we use our draft picks to fill up the rest with like mediocre players? Nah, I'm not going to overpay for Sherman Turner. I have a weird free agency. I just kind of made sure to go for players that I knew we could get. We're the only offer for all of them, and it's all in positions of need. So we'll send all these offer through. We have a green offer for everybody, and we're also the only offer for everybody. Juan Bryan's holding out, but he should accept here. So we got all 5 players. On draft day, we're just going to trade away every single draft pick possible. Try to, I don't know. It's not going to work anyway. I don't even care. Oh, I'm so done, man. I don't even want to do this anymore. Been recording for over 3 hours. Now, what should we trade for this season? Like, the receiving core isn't great, but I guess Paris Johnson's going to play center for us this year. I don't even care anymore. We could maybe get 1 more receiver. I like our DBs. I like the D line. We need to make sure Hill's starting over here. Yeah, I'm thinking we go with a stud receiver. So we basically brought in Juan Bryan for no reason. There's not a single 99 overall receiver in the league. That's crazy. We're trading our 1st round pick for a 32-year-old 89 overall X Factor Jackson Smith and Jigba. The thing is, I could keep trading the picks away, but we don't even have enough money. We could free up $6 million by restructuring JSN's contract, maybe try to get one more player. But who do we get? I mean, we technically need a center because Paris Johnson's going to be our center as of now, but that, I feel like maybe tight end. Like, other than when we had Hawkinson, we haven't really had a good tight end this whole video. We're going to trade 2 second rounders for the Bills 88 overall X Factor tight end. So our offense has been great every year, and now it's looking even better. Hopefully the CPU will like draft a center or something in the draft. I don't even care. We're going to skip past the draft because I don't feel like doing that. I mean, now that this season started, we could honestly trade for even more and just literally go completely all out. It's going to be really funny when I do all this, and this is our worst year yet, and we go like 8-9 and miss the playoffs. So we're trading our second string D tackle and basically our entire draft class for this upcoming season for a 99 overall D tackle from the Buffalo Bills. That'll be the last move we make. We're just going to sim straight to the end of the season here, and I don't know, we literally just built a God squad, so I'm sure we're going to like miss the playoffs now. So let's just get to the playoffs, man. Let's see what happens. I don't even know. And with that roster we just built, we only went 11-6. We had the second scoring defense and the fourth scoring offense. Taking on the Saints in the wild card, we own the Saints in the playoffs. We got the Minneapolis Miracle. We have the quote-unquote push-off by Kyle Rudolph. That was not a push-off. You can cry about it. We actually beat the Saints 28-21. We got to go against the Cardinals again, bro. And let's see. If we beat the Cardinals, we either have to play the Lions or the Eagles, man. I genuinely don't think I've ever seen the Cardinals become as good as they became in this franchise, but let's just send to the NFC Championship, man. Let's see if we can make it to another one. We do. We have to go against the Eagles, who again have a lower scoring offense and a lower scoring defense than us. We get a stop on the opening drive. We're moving down the field. We don't get anything going on our opening drive. We get another stop. We get stopped again. Eagles get down the field and get a touchdown. We don't move the ball on offense. We get a stop. We literally can't do a single thing on offense. We tie it up 7-7, get another stop. Can't do shit on offense again. Get another stop. Get a touchdown. Go up 14-7. We might actually win. Holy shit, there's no way. Oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl, man. Why did it have to be in the 10th year after I've already lost my mind and my sanity and just want to be dead? Well, I guess let's see who we are taking on in the Super Bowl. In 10 years, we have finally fucking made it, bro. Jesus Lord. Taking on the Houston Texans, who went 9-8. Let's just take one last look at this roster, because the second this Super Bowl is over, I'm wrapping this video up. I've been recording for way too long. JJ McCarthy, 99 overall X Factor, has played good absolutely every season. Probably is going to go down as the every record owner for the Vikings. We'll go ahead and actually take a look at that at the end of the season. But got Ashton Jeanty. He's been great. Jordan Addison is a baller. We added JSN in this tight end for the last year. And then Dallas Turner and Ivan Pace, I want to say, are the only Vikings in real life that are still a part of this defense, which, hey, that's pretty cool. I like Ivan Pace. I like Dallas Turner. Let's hop into the Super Bowl. I'm playing the opening drive. I don't even care. We're winning this Super Bowl, man. Jose Valencia, thank you for the 2. And we're starting off on offense here. You know I'm hopping in and playing this opening drive. It took me 10 years to make a freaking Super Bowl. So let's just hand it to Ashton Jeanty on the first play, see if he can get anything going, I guess. I don't want to throw an interception or anything like I did earlier. Oh, juke him out. Oh my God, go Jeanty, please. I just want to win the Super Bowl, man, please. Beautiful opening play by Ashton Jeanty. I hate stepping into play because all I ever want to do is just chuck bombs, and it normally ends up biting me in the ass. So I'll try not to throw a bomb, but there's a good chance I end up trying to throw some shit up and it doesn't work. But what a play by Harris right there. Good catch by him. I just want to throw a bomb so bad. That's all I want to do. There's a dot by JJ McCarthy. All right, we are on the 4-yard line. Can we please just punch it into the end zone here? If we can go up 7-0 on our opening drive, and maybe our defense can get a stop on the Texans drive, this should be a free win. Please, Jeanty. Okay, that was honestly bad by me, but I think we just got up in holding, because why wouldn't we, man? I genuinely feel like Madden has done everything it can in this video to not let me win a Super Bowl. Let's just put it on the ground with Jeanty again, try to get closer. That was probably just bad reading blocks by me. I just can't take this anymore. I think Jeanty might be able to get open on this whole streak. Nope, the linebacker instantly ran to it. I'm running into the sim with JJ. Or the DN's just going to teleport off his block the second I get next to him. That sounds... Don't throw a pick. Don't get sacked. Oh my goodness, man. What am I doing? We were on the 4-yard line, by the way, and then we just had to get a holding, and now this is where we are. If you think I'm kicking a field goal, you're crazy. I think I'm just going to put Jordan Addison on a slant, or on a curl, and just pray that this is man coverage. I think it is, man. Thank God Jordan Addison caught that ball. We're on the board, 7-0 in the Super Bowl. We get a stop on defense. Can't move shit on offense. That's why I had to happen to play a drive, because our offense just never moves the ball in the playoffs. Once again, doesn't do anything on offense. We go down 14-7 right before halftime. Get a stop to open the half. Of course, we don't move the ball on offense. We moving down the field now, tie it 14-14. Let the Texans get a field goal, take a 3-point lead. We go up to 21-17. And after 10 long seasons, all it took was completely ruining this franchise's future, restructuring every contract, trading every draft pick. We're going to be in cap hell forever. We're going to have no draft picks, but guess what? It was worth it because the Minnesota Vikings are Super Bowl champions, made the playoffs 10 years in a row, 0 Super Bowl appearances until the last season. We come in, beat the Houston Texans. I hate this game. So JJ McCarthy is the passing yard leader for Vikings history. He's also the passing touchdown leader. Adrian Peterson is still the rushing yards leader because Ashton Jeanty wasn't doing much, in his first few years. But Ashton Jeanty does become the rushing touchdowns leader. Receiving yards, Jordan Addison is actually going to become our receiving yards leader all time. It could have been Jay Jettas, but he wanted $50 million a year. Jordan Addison also the leader in touchdown catches. Same with receptions. Dallas Turner leads the franchise in sacks. Look at that. Cross is still the team's interception leader. But JJ McCarthy also has the most passing yards for a Viking in a season, most passing touchdowns. Jay Jettas in 2028 got 23 touchdowns, most receiving touchdowns in a season. Definitely a successful video. We'll check out, or no, it was not a successful video. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll check out who won the Super Bowl MVP, and then I am ready to get out of here. Your 2034 Super Bowl MVP goes to JJ McCarthy. Holy shit, he's won a regular season MVP. He's thrown for 5,000 yards. He's thrown for 50 touchdowns. He's been in the playoffs every season. Finally got over the hump and made it to the Super Bowl and won. Jesus Christ. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I know that was a long video, and I know I was probably complaining a lot at the end, but I'm sure you guys can understand. If you subscribe right now, you could have a chance to win a free NFL jersey. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, take a screenshot, and send it to me on Instagram. My Instagram will be at the top of the screen right here. If you send me a screenshot of you being one of the first 1,000 subscribers, you'll be entered into a giveaway for a free NFL jersey. There will also be a link in the description to my Instagram. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to comment any videos you'd like to see in the future, but that's going to be all for this one. Deuces.
They can't stop me. Beat that pussy up off the handy like I'm broccoli. I be going Super Saiyan, bitch, I feel like Goku. I don't need a handout cause I don't wanna owe you. How you talking down on me? I don't even know you. Man, I was so thrilled. Hit me in the late with the hoes, we got a boatload. Ho, I keep a K with a drum, no need to reload. You not bulletproof, shoot by myself just like a free throw.